It's a wild Welsh through a goal, slots it beyond Fodringham, and the Millers are in front in the South Yorkshire derby. And for the first time in 42 years, Rotherham United win at Bramall Lane. On the edge of the box, Duffy, he can hit them, and he does. The Dolphin has scored an absolute screamer for Rotherham United. Rotherham United have secured their championship status for next season.
Do me a favour, drop me off in Rotherham.
Hello, everybody. Happy Deadline Day. Yeah.
Yay.
Welcome back to New York Talk, the Deadline Day special. We're here for an undetermined amount of time until the transfer business is done or starts. I don't know which way you can look at which way you want, I suppose. We will also preview. We've got a game on Saturday. We've got serious business to talk about Saturday with Southampton coming to New York Stadium, so that will be in there as well. I'll come on to that in a minute. Mick, dressed up for the occasion as always, representing Rotherham United. How are you doing?
Of course. I am the voice of Rotherham United tonight. So ask your questions. I will be only too happy to answer.
Should we sack the board? No, we'll do that later. Danny, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Just got in from work. Let's talk deadline day and transfers, if there are any tonight.
There's rumours.
There is. There's some strong ones, apparently.
Yeah, we'll see. Tom will be with us shortly. For one reason, he isn't with us. So the first hour or so is probably going to be very much a preview of Saturday. Mainly because we don't put a 3-hour podcast out on Friday morning because nobody's going to listen to a 3-hour podcast. So we'll do a full preview before, and then we'll see where we get to. We'll come on to all the few comments. YouTube user AJ's on the edge of his seat. Martin Holland's with us. David Cornell, Darren Cook, Kevin Hobbs. Loads of people with us so far. John Rell disappointed. Mick doesn't have a wig. Mick has a yellow wig. Disappointed. Alfie Knott says Mick looks like he's about to run down the touchline at Wembley.
We are singing out, yeah.
Paramount says, look at those suits and ties. You've got suits and ties from me and Mick, and then a tie and a Rotherham shirt from Danny, which is...
Would you expect anything less? You know what I mean? I don't do formal.
Fair enough. Tom asks, do we reckon we've actually signed anybody? So let's get the rumours out of the way. The rumours are we've signed Rinomhota, I think, from Cardiff, which is Cardiff have just signed somebody, so I don't know if there's going to be a bit of a knock-on effect. So that's expected. I think Radio Sheffield reported is very, very close. There's also the youngster from Sheffield United, who Danny's going to tell me what his name is, hopefully. Because I haven't written down the name. He's on mute. When he comes off mute, he's going to tell us what his name.
Bear with. His name is Femi Sikiki, I think. Sirikiki, something like that.
We'll take that to start with.
Yeah.
I'll do. Good enough.
Those are the strong rumours. Those are the two strongest. There is obviously a strong rumour, Harry says, about Lindsay. There's dominoes to fall probably today, Mick. Now, the rumours are that Jamie Lindsay's a deal in place with Wrexham for around 500 to 600k. But we're not going to let him go unless we can get somebody else in to replace him. No. So this all sort of hinges on the Rinomhota deal, because if he doesn't go through, we're not going to let Jamie Lindsay go. I think that's the domino that's going to fall for the Jamie Lindsay deal, which, if any Wrexham fans are watching, that's the one they'll be watching for, really, isn't it?
Yeah, you would have thought so. I can't see any Wrexham fans tuning into our podcast, can you? We're a bigger fish to fry, aren't they, I guess? But, yeah, I mean, that might be the catalyst for others if Wrexham are holding out on price, which I get, given the fact that his contract's up at the end of the season. We'll have to wait and see, but it'd be a fantastic buy for them. It'd be a big loss for us, I think. It gives us that depth in midfield, which without him, like you said, he's got to be replaced. So that's going to be interesting to see if that does develop or not this evening.
Yeah, we'll probably come into that later on in a bit more detail because there's lots we'll dive into all these. We'll just sort of flick through main topics initially. Josh Caswell says Volks. This was again that was reported by, I think, the Star reported this initially, Danny. I can't see how this would work, to be honest with you. Why would Wednesday let him come to us a direct relegation rival. I know they probably think we're done and dusted, but we're a direct relegation rival. It doesn't really make much sense to me, to be honest with you.
I know the answer to that, Danny. Sorry, I don't want to jump in, but I do know the answer to that because they're stupid. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, isn't it? I mean, they've proved, Chansiri's proved over the years how stupid he is. So, I mean, that's probably a done deal for me. Sorry, Danny.
That's all right.
Just need to get that in.
Fair enough.
I mean, I'm inclined to agree, to be fair. But I think the initial interest from Volks appeared as a backup because the advertiser reported that we were interested in buyers who loaned to Blackpool from Wednesday. And they were looking to offload a midfielder anyway, and they've already done that with buyers. So I think it might be the case with Wednesday, either show us the money for a permanent or potentially even show them the money for a loan, like, a loan fee. Like, we've never really do that before, but Wednesday are in the position to command that from us. But it just screams to me anyway, Jamie Lynn's a replacement, and apparently Wrexham aren't offering what we want for Lindsay. So that could be a case of him staying, and then most midfielders that have been rumoured being dead in the water, other than, a backup for Taihi, potentially. Which, thinking about it, maybe could be Volks, because he sort of sat a little bit deeper when he played for us, didn't he?
Yeah, he's done a bit of both, didn't he?
Yeah, not quite as deep as Taihi, but can certainly, swap and change where needs be. But Volk's an interesting one because a player that left for, is he still our record fee received?
Until Victor leaves, yeah.
Yeah. So for him to come back on loan from a club that's not that much bigger than us would be quite interesting. It'd be a Kiefer Moore situation, to be fair. Wouldn't it? Left for the quote unquote bigger club, and then he's still come back to the club that made him famous, effectively. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with Volks. But that was the first rumour anywhere of the window that was solid. So we'll have to wait and see. Personally, I don't see it happening. I see a couple others potentially, if he potentially maybe happening. But Volks, it feels like a pipe dream at this point. But we've still got what time are we on? We've still got a few hours until deadline shuts, so we'll have to wait and see.
Don't keep us waiting. I don't think I've got 3 hours worth of material to keep talking about. If any other club's watching, just sign them, just announce it. John doesn't think Rinomhota or Volks would improve what we already have. Stephen Thomas does part out. The Volks can play in defence, he can play centre back, he can play right back. I think he played right back first time around as well. So Volks definitely does give you that versatility that nobody else in the squad really gives us. We've not got that kind of versatility. But I'll be honest, I don't think that's going to happen. The other guy that Danny mentioned from Sheffield United, Mick, he's a right wing back. That's not going to impact Kyoso, would you think? He'd be with Kyoso. That's how I see it.
You would have thought so, wouldn't you? You would have thought so. We know that Peter Kyoso, when he was with us before going out on loan, had injury problems. Whether that's a sort of a thing in the back of the manager's mind, I don't know. As a sort of a, like you say, a backup, or possibly a slight change of formation at times. It offers him the opportunity to play 4 across the middle with a winger, with an out-and-out wingers. So who knows? Who knows? He's a young lad. Whether that's what you need in the heat of a relegation, I'm going to say scrappy. We're not actually got to the stage where we're in a scrap yet, have we? You know what I mean? Yeah. We've got a few wins to get under our belt before we can get to that point. So, but yeah, I mean, he sounds like an exciting player, but inexperienced, and that's the kind of caveat to that, isn't it? But I don't think it would affect Peter Kyoso being here. No. I mean, unless something wild happens in the next 2 hours. I don't see him going anywhere, and I've got my fingers crossed that that's the case, because he should never have gone anywhere in the first place.
Yeah, no, I agree. Nick says Siriki. Does anyone know anything about him? Not much. Sheffield United, I've seen all we can really go through is a sort of comments on X from Sheffield United fans who say he is a good prospect. It was on Rochdale last season. I think. Did they get relegated from League Two last year?
Yes,
Or was it the year
did.
before? So don't feel you much confidence, but then we don't know. We just don't know. Tom Case says, what time does the window actually show? It's 11 o'clock. There's always that possibility it can go a bit longer. You've got to fill that form of whatever it's called. I can't remember the thing's called. There's always a potential it can go on and go on and go on. If you can prove the deal was almost done, you can go past the 11 o'clock deadline. But
It's way past my bedtime, that.
You're not working tomorrow, don't worry about it. You can drink all the beer you want and spout on YouTube. It's great.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's have a talk about the Southampton game, Danny, because Southampton come to New York Stadium on Saturday, who have done a little bit of business this winter, not massive amounts, but Dib Brooks from Bournemouth being the main one they've signed on loan. They're on a 22-game club record unbeaten run, which includes us, the draw at St Mary's in that feels like seasons ago, to be honest with you. But it does include that one. How worried are you about this, Danny? Because they've hit their stride now with Russ Martin, sadly.
Yeah, they have. It's and they're the second best away team in the league as well, behind Leicester, for points won as well. So it's going to be certainly a tricky one, and that's underselling it. I think it being a tricky one. But part of it, I suppose, is what gets done today and what any other players can bring to the squad as well. But as it stands, the squad that we've got, it's not too dissimilar from the squad that played at Southampton, where we were able to get a draw out of it. But it's a squad that's more defensively solid than the one that went to Southampton. So it's one of them games where on one hand you can see as like being defensively solid under Richardson and maybe grinding out a 0-0 draw, sneaking a goal potentially like we did at Middlesbrough. But on the one hand, Southampton, with a fair bit of business that they've done, could come and spank us 5-0. It's one of those sort of pendulum games where it could go one way or other. But in my opinion, we're more defensively solid and we only let one goal in when we went down to St Mary's. And all right, fair enough. It took us like a wonder goal to come back level again. But with the current squad that we've got, not factoring in any arrivals, if there are any later in the evening, I could see us giving Southampton a game, certainly, because we seem to be better marginally at home, shall we say. Slightly defensively more compact. So yeah, it's like I say, it's one of those games where I think most fans will go into it expecting the worst. So if you go in expecting the worst, you might be pleasantly surprised by it. That'll be my opinion anyway. I'll be pleasantly surprised if we only lose 1-0, for example. But we tend to do better against teams up the top end, barring Leicester away. So yeah, I'm expecting us to give them a good game. It not to be a free-flowing game. I think we'll frustrate them and potentially sneak a result out of it.
Yeah, we if you haven't watched the scouting report, we're going to have a watch of that when we talked to the Total Saints podcast. And he said Alfie we spoke to suggested that he thinks that we're in Russ Martin's head a little bit after the game. Whenever it was. It was a game, I remember him coming out and being really frustrated that they hadn't won the game because they probably should have won the game in terms of chances. And if looking at, I just checked our record, we've played Russ Martin 5 times, we've drawn 4 times and beaten him once. Only Middlesbrough have a better record against him. So there is something about these Russ Martin teams, Mick, that suit us. They do suit us. I mean, we saw it at MK Dons when Liam Manning took over from Russ Martin. These teams do actually suit us. I know the game at St Mary's was a bit of an anomaly because of the chances they created, I suppose. But the Swansea 2 games, Swansea last season, they were perfect examples. I'm going to pick up points, but they're perfect examples of how to play against a Russ Martin team for me.
Yeah, they were. There's no doubt we're in his head, and rightly so as well. it's all right creating all those chances. The whole point of the game is to take them, and if you don't take them, you don't win. And that's what Ross Martin's has found out when he's played us previously. So, yeah, I'm glad that we are. I don't like his style of football. I don't like his ego. There's nothing there that I can see to like. So if we can get in his head, all well and good. You know, he's gonna bring his team up to New York Stadium on Saturday, full of confidence, full of arrogance, because that's the way that he likes his football in inverted commas to be played. And hopefully that transfers to the players, and they're coming up here thinking it's a straightforward, easy 3 points and back down motorway. Fingers crossed, because if that is the attitude they approach the game with, there is a chance that they'll lose it. There's no doubt about it. If they come and work hard and play to their capabilities, it should be a straightforward win. But you know, like we've said many times. Football's 50, 60, 70% psychological. It's what goes on in your head. And for the American football fans who are watching, if you watch both the championship games last week, even that sport, it's all in the head. The two teams just threw the game away because the opposition got in their heads. And Russell Martin, for me, is a manager who you can do that too, and that way it may well transfer into his players. So fingers crossed that's what happens on Saturday.
We can hope, can't we? We've been our home record is very good, Danny. It is very good, but the games under Liam Richardson, other than the Sunderland game, we haven't played that well at home under Liam Richardson. We've been better away from home, ironically. But then Southampton, although they are the second best away record, they don't have a great scoring record. I think they score less than one a game or around one a game. So they aren't. Look, they're not invincible, are they? This is a team that can be got at, but we've got to be at our best to do so, haven't we?
Yeah, but I think that goes for the majority of the teams in the Championship this season. We have to be at our fully best to compete with them. And I think all season we've never seen Rotherham at our best. We've never really seen us completely cohesively working. But yeah, like you say, Southampton aren't invincible. They can be got at. All right, fair enough. It's only 4 times this season, and we got the draw against them. But I think if we were to even just shadow that second half against Southampton, we could get a result out of them. Whilst we're at home. Yeah, you're right. Home form, I don't think deteriorated is the right word, but sort of just brought more into line with the away form.
With the average.
Yeah, we've found like an unhappy medium, I think is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
But again, even with that at home, like we've seen some games where we've been absolutely appalling at home, but we've seen some games where we've been quite good at home and got a bit lucky. I'm not saying that we should rely on luck against Southampton. Yeah, we might have to. Don't get me wrong, but I think the Southampton result does depend on who we bring in and who we bed in on the last day. I think if it's the current squads, I think everybody will be happy with the draw potentially. But I think if we bring in, maybe someone up top or someone as a centre back, then we might want to see something a little bit more beneficial. But I think the best way to describe it is just going to be an hard graft of a game. But then that's described all 28 games of our season, and just an hard graft. And I think Richardson's grasped that it is a hard graft this season. And whether we beat Southampton the pretty way or the ugly way, or just get a draw out of it, we just have to see what happens on Saturday. Because let's face it, at this point now, it's just unpredictable. Even we're struggling to predict everything, and we've got 1 out of 10 right. And we're struggling to predict anything that's right as well.
Yeah, Tom Case says we tend to do okay against teams that are slow, possession-based, move the ball slow, which again is Russ Martin's style. Slow, patient, build the play up. I suspect that'll play into, because Middlesbrough did exactly the same, mate. And we picked up, beat them at our place and drew at their place. there'll be a similar sort of. Southampton are a better team than Middlesbrough. Let's not
Yeah.
mess around. They've got significantly better players. They're a Premier League team in waiting because of the players they've got. But you can see, you saw in Middlesbrough, it doesn't take long for that frustration to keep. 20 minutes in, even 20 minutes in, if they're not getting the space they want, the frustration really does kick in. So it's about staying patient. Fans staying patient as well. Fans have got to. I think we've got to accept that we're going to be, 20% possession kind of thing Saturday, and hopefully we can stay in the game long enough. And it's going to be a nick something kind of job, isn't it? Really.
Potentially, yeah. Potentially, it is. They are better than the Middlesbrough. There's no doubt about it. But we showed at their place, if you cut out that supply from down the wings, then they didn't have anything else at that time of the season. Maybe now they have. The thing is, like we've said before, Russell Martin is one. He will be the first one to get frustrated before the players. Asking our fans to be patient, you're probably more chance of getting 11 signatures before 11 o'clock tonight than that happening. Given the way some of it's been going off this week, but yeah, I mean, get in his head, and we will get something out of the game. I'm absolutely sure of that. If we don't, we just sort of capitulate like we have done at home a couple of times under Liam Richardson, then we'll get an absolute battering. I can't see that happening, to be perfectly honest with you. We're far more organised for the bulk of the time, particularly away from home. And it's going to be a similar tactic, I would suggest, at home against a team like Southampton, who as you said, try and play the ball around. The tactics are going to be very similar, and we're proving to be quite difficult to break down now, which is not what we had under the old regime.
No, not at all. We have the fourth member of the team tonight, Tom Ayres. How are you doing, Tom?
I'm good. I've just come back from delivering the pizza to New York, and they told me it's going to be a late one. There was about four pieces in there, and that was just for Tony.
I like the effort of the other time, mate. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I literally just got off the train, popped it on, come straight on. Appreciate the the commitment. Thank you.
Alfie asks, are we stream until 11? We'll stream until we get
I can't believe
confirmation we're done. So we sign somebody and the club tweet that we're done. I'm not staying off for further than that. So yes, the plan is to be here for whatever. So get thinking of some topics we can talk about when we get desperate.
I've got so many.
Comment here. So Shelley asks, would you set up the same as Borough, Cafu in the same role, PK from the start in place because of Bramall? Tom, is that how you... Because anybody who signed today is probably not going to be ready because they get trained. So anybody comes to probably on a bench. So you start 11s from the guys we've already got. Maybe minus Lindsay. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, same 11 that quote unquote finished the game, I'd say. I'd definitely start PK at right back.
Yeah.
Yes, I am on white wine. It was the only thing in the fridge, and there's no way I'm doing this sober. So yeah. Revan left wing back, and then 3 centre halves we've had all season really. Oh wait, I say that.
Have we got 3 centre halves?
Yeah, I know. Peltz, Adolphin, and Morris.
Peltz didn't come off injured, did he?
No, not from what I can remember, but he's probably got some kind of injury that he sustained at some point. Who knows? Or, lo and behold, Humphreys is back. Pop him on the bench and pop him on for the last 30 minutes or whatever. Yeah, I'd definitely start Klukas, been our best player the last 3 or 4 games. Definitely, I'd start Cafu. I think he's the creative link that we've got, the only one at the minute. There are any signings, hopefully, and then Thierry in that midfield as well. Who else? Who was it that started in midfield against Borough?
Cafu, Klukas, Thierry.
No, there was one more because it was Hugo by himself, wasn't it? Was it Lindsay?
It must have been Rotherham on bench, weren't it?
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'd probably keep same 11 then and play Cafu just off Hugo, and then if that's not working, then you can put Nombe on for Lindsay and drop Cafu a bit deeper. something like that maybe. Or if Lindsay isn't there, then you just start Nombe from the off, I think. Yeah, it's an interesting time. It'll just be a case of same formation and just put the players in that he thinks will suit the system, because I can't imagine we're going to go forward much against Southampton, and they're obviously going to have a lot of the ball. I'm sure that you spoke at length about Russell Martin, Mick. So we're not going to get the ball. We may as well sit back and try and hit him on the counter. Maybe that screams Nombe and Hugo up top. Maybe it doesn't. Who knows? I'd personally put Nombe up there, but I can see him trying to keep a consistent 11, as consistent as possible. But who knows? Who knows? Hopefully by then, who knows? Maybe one of these. Maybe if we sign up, I was going to say maybe if we sign a player, maybe they come straight in. But there's too many ifs and maybes for that to be the case. So
there are a lot of ifs, maybes, and buts, and everything else in between. Harry says pretty much trying to hijack the Sheffield United kid. That'd be quite funny, to be fair. I kind of respect that. Yeah. Kind of respect Dara if he pulls that off. Well done. We'll see what happens with that.
It'd be pure spite, though, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. He won't play. He won't play for this season. But...
It's like, you've recalled our right back, so we're going to sign the right back you're trying to sign. It's like ring sound noise.
I don't know. Maybe it's 4D chess from Richardson. Maybe we never wanted him. We just didn't want them to take PK back.
With the window ending in, we ain't got a countdown. We should have a countdown, shouldn't we? We haven't. With it ending at 11 o'clock, Mick, what are you most excited about? That we can stop talking about Peter Kioso, or that Victor can't leave? Because for me, it's pretty close, because they're just two of the most frustrating topics I've ever heard this month.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we're now on the 1st of February and Victor's still a Rotherham United player has to be the one and only highlight of the transfer window for us so far. There has been no others, so it's also the worst, I guess. But yeah, I mean, the fact that we managed to keep him, I mean, it gives all the moaners something to moan about, that we aren't taking the money. But it also suggests to me that we're serious about trying to stop in this league, which, futile as that might seem, getting rid of your goalkeeper in January, who's an international goalkeeper, who's at the standard that Victor's at, would have been almost tantamount to sort of saying, well, throw in towel in, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see whether there's any other highlights. We've got what? I'm counting down the hours already. It's only 8:30. 2.5 more hours, and I ain't got pizza. I'm disappointed with that.
Have you not brought any biscuits or anything? I've bought myself some shortbread in case we get desperate.
All right.
Can't share them through the computer.
If I'd known, I'd have made myself a pack up, mate.
I'm going to try and find a snack now.
Yeah. Listen, keeping Victor's a great bit of business, I think, for us, and the only bit of business so far, realistically.
Yes.
However,
I suppose it is.
can I propose a counter question?
Yeah, go for it.
If an offer comes in now for 15 million from Victor, do you take it right now?
15?
15 million.
Probably.
You'd have to, wouldn't you?
Probably. It would have to be stupid money.
Like so what? 10 to 15 or
10 plus? Yeah.
10 plus. Because we'd have no keeper for this. Well, you would, but
the other thing is we'd have Dylan Phillips and Nat Ford, and that's no disrespect to them, but neither are on Victor's level, and if we get that sort of bid at, say, 10:30, we've got no chance of getting any sort of replacement of Victor's level to help us for the rest of the season. So then it becomes like you said before, Tom, that 4D chess of, do you take the offer and take the money for the summer, or do you hang on and pray that something else happens?
So Peter, we're looking at selling Ephron Mason Clark to Coventry. That might be irrelevant. That might be completely irrelevant, but it might not be. We're just throwing rumours out there at this point.
I've heard Clark Harris is going to Wrexham.
Is it? Is he actually?
No clue. It's just funny to try and stir the pot.
The thing is, the problem is, Tom, that's believable.
It would be really good if that came true.
Darryl Fry is going to Peterborough. That's another one.
It was.
Danny, back to
Darryl
Saturday.
Fry. Remember Darryl Fry, the most useless right back we've ever had?
Oh,
No,
Dale
Fisher.
Fry.
Mm.
You mean Fisher?
Oh, it's Fisher, isn't it? Yeah, shit,
Fisher.
sorry.
Yeah, Dale Fry's at Borough, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a centre half and all, isn't he?
Mm.
I mean, apart from that, you're nails on there, Danny.
Wrong name, wrong position.
Yeah, bloody hell. Oh, well. It's been a long day at work. Leave me alone.
It's been a long transfer window, is what it's been. Danny, who you stop on Saturday? Is it going to be a 2 for Hugo Nombe? Would you go Nombe because you want a bit of pace? Would you Hugo because he did very well against Borough, to be fair? Eves? Georgie's still here.
Yeah, Georgie meant to be going to Gillingham, wasn't he?
Yeah. That was a done deal a few weeks ago.
Yeah. I would say probably Hugo Nombe, if I'm being perfectly honest, because then you've got Hugo is, just being Jordan Hugo, and then Nombe with the pace. I've seen in the comments that Southampton like to be, the more possession-based sides, and if we frustrate them like we have done, say, against Middlesbrough and against Blackburn as well, then we'd upset it and then pounce on it. And I think the combination of Hugo and Nombe sort of suits that play style a bit more. So yeah, I'd go for those two over bringing Eves and Georgie. And as much as I want to see Georgie play as much as possible, and now Eves play as much as possible, now he's found his a bit more of a niche that he can play into with Richardson, I would go for those two. And then bring potentially Hugo off for one or other later on in the game, I think. Yeah.
Are you surprised Georgie's still here, Mick? Because he needs games, doesn't he? He's definitely needs to play, but we ain't got bodies, I suppose, have we?
We haven't got the bodies, and yeah, I mean, he can be a game changer, can't he?
Yeah,
he can be a game changer, and he's proved that quite a few times. So I'm not surprised he's still here. No, not at all. Particularly given the lack of any other activity in that area of the pitch, or in any other for that matter. So no, I'm not surprised. I'd like to see him get a bit more of a chance as an impact sub at least. Get a little bit more game time. But if we were going to send him out on loan, I would have done it at the beginning of the season and had him back at Christmas. That would probably have been the better way around. But it looks like he's not going anywhere, and I'm pleased. And I'd like to see him kick on. If he does stay and we do go down, he's going to be a handful in League One. There's no doubt about that. So, yeah, I'm surprised. I am surprised. I thought he'd go out and get some game time, but he's another one that's out of contract, I think, in the summer, isn't he? So,
another year.
He's got another year, as he will. In that case, yeah. For me, on Saturday, I'd be looking at having Nombe up there with that bit of pace, because not only has he got that bit of pace up front, we know that he can score goals, obviously, but he's defensively, he's far better than Hugo, far better than Hugo defensively, and he works better in that press, and that press is going to be important against Russell Martin's team.
Yeah, he is. John Morell wants to know what you're drinking, Danny. He says, have you got a soft drink?
I have. I've got B-Tech Fanta from Lidl.
Is that his commercial name, or?
I think it's called Lilt. I think it's called.
No.
But Lilt,
yeah, but...
is it Lilt or Fanta?
I don't know. I just call it B-Tech Fanta. It's just B-Tech Fanta.
Lilt's like a tropical thing. Although they might have stopped doing Lilt, actually.
I don't know. They don't sell Fanta in Lidl. They sell this, and it's basically the same thing. So yeah, it's tropical Fanta without being called tropical Fanta. So
this is going to be a long night. This is going to be a long night.
I didn't think we'd be getting to soft drink conversation in 34 minutes into it. I thought I'd be later.
Have you already previewed all of Southampton, or are we still
nearly?
Okay, cool. I was going to say we ran out of content really early.
Yeah. Wayne says Lilt is Fanta. They rebranded it a few months ago. There you go.
Don't egg it on.
I feel like that's a lie. I don't trust Wayne. But
Right. Okay. So to please everybody, it's a tropical-based soft drink that I don't
There
know
we
the
go.
name of, and it apparently is carbonated, so it's quite fizzy. There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, you have it.
This is what Sky Sports News are missing, you know.
I can get you the bottle from the kitchen if you want to see what it actually is.
Yes.
Right.
No.
He's already gone, mate. He's already gone.
No, I didn't actually.
Yeah, Southampton game. Tom, how big is the game? Because we're 9. Yeah, I know. The little conversation's thrown me. We're now 9 points adrift after Huddersfield's point last week. We've got Southampton next, Leeds up after that.
Yeah,
I think it's Wednesday play Huddersfield this weekend as well. So somebody's going to pick up points. Where are we in this survival situation? Because it's we're only in February, but it looks blooming bleak.
Yeah, it looks really dire. Yeah, I think Southampton and Leeds are write-offs. I think 2 points from that, and you snatch your hand off at that. Unfortunately, Leeds away, especially, is a tough place to go, especially with how well they're playing. Southampton at home. What is it? 27 games that they've gone unbeaten. So
22, I think.
22. Yeah, you know.
Club record. Anyway.
Maybe then. Maybe we might. I thought it was 27. And there's no chance. Yeah, 22. There's a slim chance. No, they're not only both teams that are going absolutely hell for leather in the Championship, but they are two teams who are banging form as well. Too good for the Championship. Too on form, and anything more than 2 points, and I think it's dreamland if that's the case, which is unfortunate. But it's the truth. We would look, I think the proper running is, what is it, end of March, start of April.
Post Ipswich in it really. We've got Ipswich on a Tuesday night in February, and after that it's like QPR Wednesday.
Yeah, I think we prep for then. we batten down the hatches. We don't lose 6 or 7-0 in any game, and we kind of just prep for then, which is such a, like you said, bleak way of looking at it. But I can't think of any other way. It's a genuine case of hoping for the best, and I'm not one to complain, but with the lack of attacking options that we've been rumored with and or have got in this transfer window, just makes me think that we're just not ready going forward. Defensively, we look actually okay. Well, you're always bound to concede maybe one a game, depending on Championship players' mistakes. If they didn't make mistakes, they wouldn't be in the Championship. So you're always bound to concede a chance or 3 a game, and usually they are taken in the Championship. So to concede 1 a game is fine, okay, I guess. To not score in a game, you're bound to lose, obviously. Michael Owen quote. But yeah, the only times that we've won this season are 1-0 at home to Borough, where we probably didn't deserve to get anything from that game. I know that it was a good defensive performance, probably arguably didn't deserve to get anything from that game. 2-0 against Coventry, we scored 2 goals. You give yourself a bit of a buffer, and 2-1 against Norwich, we gave ourselves a 2-0 head start, so to say. The only game where we scored 2 that I can really think of that we probably deserved more out of it was the Plymouth game, and that's just unlucky. From there, you're going on and you're thinking, when have we actually scored more than 2 goals a game? And I can't really think. And we deserve to win as well. So, we've actually lost less than Sunderland have this season. We've lost 14, I think, and they've lost 15. They've got 4 draws and we've got 10. So I think we were doomed from early on, not going out for. Oh yeah, someone just said the Blackburn game. Where again it was a tight game. I think a draw was fair. It's weird, but yeah, as soon as you don't score 1 or more goals on average a game, you're kind of looking at defeat or a draw, and unfortunately that is all that we've done this season is a defeat or a draw. We've got one of the most draws record in the league, if that makes sense to anyone. I'm really tired, I'm sorry. But we've only won 3 games, and only winning 3 games is criminal, absolutely criminal. And one of them we didn't even really deserve to win. So it speaks for itself. And to answer your question, no, I don't see us winning against Southampton on the weekend.
So, just to interrupt with transfer news, Graham Bailey, who appears to be a reasonable journo, here in Peterborough, trying to hijack the Rotherham move for Sheffield United's Femi Siriki. Goes into reference the Peter Kyoso situation as well.
That's only because what's his face, that clown of a journo, jumped on Paul Davis. Swan jumped on Paul Davis's tweet about it earlier on. That's where I'm going to guess that's where that came from.
Okay. What did he reply to it? Something?
Yeah, he replied to it. Yeah.
Did it? What did he put?
I can't remember. I'll find it for you. It was very childish and very.
I was just about to say it sounds like proper playground behaviour. What's going on at the minute? Like, that's my turn on the swing. Well, actually, it's my turn on the swing, so I'm going to go and play on the seesaw, and it's actually your turn.
His reply was one for PK fans to ponder.
Anyway.
And we have banter with Peterborough fans about them carrying it on when their town journalist is doing exactly the same thing.
He's mad, honestly. We've talked about him before, haven't we? He's just mad.
And anyway, side note, I found the bottle that I'm drinking, by the way. It's not Fanta or Lilt. It's actually Freeway Tropical. So Freeway, if you want to sponsor us, we're available.
That's quality, mate.
It's Lilt. It's Lilt, but cheap.
It's Lilt, but under a different flag, basically.
Wayne put a message on Ariel about. I've been privately messaged by Wayne demanding an apology because Lilt was taken over by Fanta and scrapped.
Well, it's not Lilt, no.
I don't know why he needs apology, Wayne. But there you go, you've got one. That wasn't really an apology, were it?
No. Well, it's not Lilt, it's Freeway, so anyway.
Yeah. But Lilt on its own doesn't exist anymore, I think.
It's Lilt's ghost, that's what it is.
Yeah. Mixed buzzing about this, aren't you?
Oh, mate, I'm telling you now, I can see viewing figures flying up as you speak.
This is top quality content.
This one on the important topics, it's like on off transfer topic. Which Donna says, "What song do we pick as the anthem?" Now, this is again. We'll talk about the upsetting people again, but
this has been brilliant, hasn't it? This has made my week. This.
So, if anybody's missed this, I was a club of trying to get because that was been poor certainly this season and part of last season as well. They're trying to get going before the kickoff. I think is the idea behind it. Something we've actually talked about before, I think, on this podcast. We've suggested songs, sort of walkout songs kind of thing. And they've narrowed it down to Drop Me Off in Rotherham, Millermen, either old or new version. What's the Cliff Richard one that you mentioned, Mick?
I don't want to talk about Cliff Richard. I don't think we should be mentioning Cliff Richard at all in the name of in the same breath as a football anything. It's the Bachelor Boy song, isn't it? It's
Bachelor Boy. There was a fourth one as well. I can't remember the fourth one was.
Drop Me Off, weren't they?
So we'll Drop Me Off, Millermen, Bachelor Boy. There were 4, weren't there?
New York, I guess.
New York. Yes, there was. Yes. I have voted for Millermen, the new version, because it's tailor-made. It's tailor-made to get it on a minute or two before the players start to come out, and as the players come out, encourage people to get in early, get in a couple of minutes early. You know where this you see it on the continent where they all got scarves, holding the scarves or banners or whatever you want. I just like the idea of that. Mick,
what
are your thoughts and what did you pick? I know you picked.
That was so rude.
The funniest part of all this week has been when the club tweeted it out asking for people to vote. All the usual suspects piled on about the fact that we hadn't signed anybody and everything else, and then the same usual suspects then proceeded to argue with each other about what song they wanted. It was hilarious. It was like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you anyway? I vote for Drop Me Off in Rotherham. I don't like any association with Cliff Richard whatsoever. If that song will be used, it needs to be completely rehashed with the correct words, which are the words that we sing at New York Stadium, not the ones that clown sang. I don't like it. I mean, I like our version of it, but it needs to be rehashed. Other than that, I would hate to have to have that blaring out over the speakers. It's just, I mean, blows my mind. Millerman, I don't like.
I know you don't.
I mean, I know Lee's done an updated version of it, which for me is a better version than the original. But it sounds like a novelty song. It's a novelty song that for me, and that's not what it's about. You know, it's not about that at all. It's about trying to create an atmosphere and a bit of pride and everything else, and all that sounds like it's a playground song for me. And I'm not convinced it was ever written, and I might be wrong on this. I don't know. Of its time when it first done in, well, I don't know, the early 80s, I think. I'm not sure, late 70s, whatever. You know, that was a kind of thing that was popular. I don't think it is anymore, and it doesn't instill any form of pride in me whatsoever. Drop Me Off is not it's not a football song, but there are certain parts of it that could be utilised. And the song is about our town, and it's about our town and some pride in our town. So that's why I voted for that one. New York. It's never taken off. I get it. I understand it. I understand why they did it, but it's never really taken off. I mean, you talk about obviously the continent. When we went to Hammarby. The song that they use is an old folk song, isn't it? I haven't got a clue what the words are, despite trying to learn them. But the atmosphere that creates is something else. But it's the continent in it, and things work differently there. But again, that's another song that's all about pride in your environment and pride about where you are. All the other three that we've talked about on that list don't, other than Drop Me Off in Rotherham, don't give me any sort of buzz at all about the club and about the town. So that's my take on it.
Are you sure they're allowed to use Drop Me Off in Rotherham? I thought it was your guys' anthem.
we'd obviously have to have an influence for that.
Yeah, I was going to say, sure you get a little bit of hush money.
Well, I'm sure we could work something out. What did you pick? Did you vote, Tom?
I didn't. No, I haven't had a chance. I've been busy this week. But I don't know. It's not. I think the say should go down to people who turn up every week. And I'll be honest, I don't. I live far away. I don't. I turn up for the occasional game. I watch it on TV, and that's about it. So I think it should be left down more to the people who are actually going to be there, season ticket holders. And I'll admit I'm not one. So yeah, if it was one though, I would pick. It's a new song. I agree with Mick. The Drop Me Off is probably the best choice. It's just a town spirit, I guess. You need something that, hey, if nobody knows it. I'm assuming a lot of people know it, but if nobody knows it, if there's fans around going, what the hell is this? They get to know it, and that's kind of nice. And then it comes from something. It comes from nothing to something. Everyone's comparing it to Liverpool, with the scarves and everything. Yeah. But even that Jamie Webster's LA, nobody would have known that before he released it. And then a couple people jumped on the bandwagon before you knew it was their anthem. I know it's not actually their anthem, but it was sung in bars, in pubs, in whatever. And it's just nice to know that there's there'll be a good sense of community there where it's your song and your song alone. Nobody else can change the lyrics to it. Nobody else can say that's not about you, that's about us and whatnot. So yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it would be nice. But like I said, I didn't vote. I've been busy, and I think it should go down to the people who are there week in, week out, their choice, because it's their culture.
Danny?
Yeah, I voted and I went for Drop Me Off in Rotherham. It just seems the more natural choice, because I think New York's had its day. Personally, I think the best way to describe it is the novelty's worn off with it. It's like, shiny new stadium, New York Stadium, New York, Frank Sinatra, nice coming together. But now that we've been there for over 10 years, it's sort of like, it's not the new stadium that it was anymore. There are newer stadiums now. And we need something that's a bit more sort of just fitting with the town. And Drop Me Off in Rotherham is that, because, I won't repeat the lyrics completely, but the original lyrics are more fitting with the town, and even the newer lyrics, it's sort of in keeping with the direction that it's going. I think Miller Men, both the older version and the newer version, whilst good songs in their own right, aren't in keeping with the modern vibe of football. They're very much an 80s vibe to football. And to be honest with the other one, I just haven't heard it because I'm not really a music listener. So I've gone for Drop Me Off in Rotherham, and I think it'll just be an uplifting thing for all the fans. Like, we're all from Rotherham, we're all Rotherham fans, and we're getting back behind the team on a Saturday afternoon or a Tuesday evening. So, yeah, that's why I went for it.
Do we think this is the right time to introduce it? Bearing in mind the season that we're having and the half apathy that not everybody, half apathy that a section of the fan base are feeling towards the club at the minute. I'm not convinced it's the best time to bring it in. I might be wrong. I would love to be wrong, but I'm not sure the timing's right for it, to be honest with you.
I think the atmosphere has dropped and dropped and dropped this season, more so than any other season that I can remember. Even the bad seasons, the atmosphere has been better. I don't know whether that's just a sign of the times or what it is, but the club are obviously looking to try and do something to just up the noise a little bit, up the noise levels. And I don't want to hear about the players on the pitch need to give us something to cheer about. That's just, don't give me that. It's they're just trying to do something, aren't they?
Do you think that impacts it though? Like, you have to be completely honest, it does impact.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah.
What the fact that what's going on in the pitch is no good.
Well, that and the style of play.
Listen, I get the fact that it does impact it, but you can't have it both ways. You can't. You can't say that if you're a supporter, you're a supporter. Support the club, and we all know as supporters who've been going for long enough that if you get behind the team, it will up their performance.
Yeah, agreed.
It's all right saying, well, they've got to give me some at first. That's not the way life works, is it?
I agree. I think, I agree. I think if you start off strong and you start off, like you're saying, put the performances on the pitch to the side, start off strong, and then if the performance on the pitch doesn't match it, then I think it's kind of valid if people drop. That's how most things work.
Yeah.
It's gone the other way now, hasn't it? And again, I don't know whether that's a sign of the times or what it is. Everything starts off quiet and slow, and then when we get when Stan Klukas knocks somebody off at pitch, and all of a sudden the crowd get up, and it lifts the game. It should be the other way around,
Yeah. A few people mentioned Shelley said it's too slow, and Skyler said you want something a bit more upbeat. You see from other club songs, it doesn't necessarily need. You don't want people jumping around and going crazy before. It's just about building. It's a bit of building up before kickoff and setting the scene. Is not the right phrase, but you know what I'm trying to say.
No, I agree.
I think Drop Me Off in Rotherham wouldn't be the song to bring us out before the teams come out, for sure. I think it would be like one of the starting songs just to get everyone just a little bit uplifted, and then potentially go into Stone Roses as well as we walk out, for example. Drop Me for Rotherham just a nice base setter. I think that's the best way to describe it. It sets the tone of the day. I think.
As soon as you know they're walking out, get on Big Town. Get words on screen as they come out. The entire.
No, don't get words on the screen. I think.
Well, start what you probably don't need to.
Yeah.
Just because Anyway.
Yeah.
We might come back to this.
I disagree with that. I think it should be the last thing that's played before kickoff. The opening lines Drop Me Off, and then get some other stuff on before it. Like you said, we had. The Colts, She Sells Sanctuary that they walked out to. It's a banging song, it creates an atmosphere. We've not got that anymore. I did notice somebody mentioned on Twitter about Do I Love You, which we had at Don Valley. Fantastic. Get it anyway.
Getting excited thinking about it.
Yeah. I'll from the playlist out. Come on.
A few people mentioned the PA system as well. which is not perfect. A few people mentioned the PA guy as well. Bless him. We have. Mike says, "Come on, lads, let's have some ref bashings, please. No more things." All right, Mike, just for you. Referee for Saturday is Sonny Gill. I think pretty certain this is the first time he's refereed. He may have been fourth official once or twice, but certainly his first time refereeing as he's come up through the system over the last couple of years. He's been knocking around. I don't have anything to add on him because he hasn't refed us. We can bash him if you want. Does anybody want to slag him off before he referees us?
Until Sunday.
Yeah, no, I hope he can. I hope he went to Specsavers. Is that what he meant to say this? I don't know.
So what we'll do there, we'll take a prediction and then we'll end the Southampton preview, and then because I just want to know when to cut the podcast.
We've still got 2 hours, don't we?
We've got 2 hours. Hang on, I've got time. We've got 2 hours and 3 minutes, Tom.
Oh, Mum, do we have any whiskey? No. Oh Christ.
So prediction time. Alfie from the Total Saints podcast went 2-0 Southampton, as you probably expect. Mick, yours is easy. 2-1 to the Millers.
Absolutely, 100%.
Tom.
1-1.
1-1. Tom's going for the points today rather than just going for the Rotherham win.
You know how I went for the points last week? Last time, and I was like Borough win, and then we didn't somehow.
Yeah.
Borough. No, you know what? Yeah, 2-0 Southampton because then we'll win. Huh?
All right. Okay.
No. 1-1.
1-1. Okay. Scribble
Yeah,
that. Danny, what do you reckon?
Might come to me last.
Well, I ain't done me yet, so technically you're not last.
Yeah, fair.
Going last is easier, isn't it?
And if it come to you first, you still want to vote her out. So
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Not sod it. 1-0 to us. Why not?
1-0 to the Millers. I'm gonna steal Tom and go 1-1.
Oh, be original.
No, I'm gonna go 0-0.
Oh God, be better.
Clean sheet. Can you imagine a clean sheet at home to respond in Southampton? His head will explode. It'd be great. That's what you got to think about. IFC says 5-0 to them. 1-0 to us. So does Powermad. Harry says 4-1 to Southampton. Mike the Miller's normally doesn't go this, but he's put 2-1 on the basis that we mostly do decent against top teams.
Yeah.
Chris Page says 2-0 to them. Kaza says 3-1 to them. Reg 2-0 to the Millers. Scott 3-2 to Saints. John S 1-1. John Morell 4-0. CJ says 2-2 or 3-1. It's cheating, but we'll let you have that on.
It's going to be a 4-goal thriller, but either a draw or Southampton winning, right? So.
Basically,
we either score last minute or concede last minute, is what he's trying to say.
Freezing Fury has cracked out the way scale. He says 5-1 to the Millers.
Imagine.
Steve Grundy 2-1 to the Millers. Nick Leeson 3-1. Tom Case is a boring 1-1. Rotherham you on Twitter, on X, I should say, it's 2-1 to the Millers.
If it's 1-1, does that mean it's boring?
Don't know.
I think if we score, I think it's. I think we don't score.
I think you can be pretty sure that the bulk of the game is going to be extremely boring with Southampton passing it between centre halves, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's that we do know that we can expect that, and maybe that should get crowd up booing that. I don't know,
booing them passing it.
Yeah. Anyway, just so I'm going to cut in here for all you audio listeners, we are cutting off for you. If you're watching on YouTube, stay on. But if you're watching on audio and listen on podcast,
Carlisle signed Kelly on a permanent.
On a permanent? Wow, that's news.
Well then,
audio listeners, wait.
Oh my God!
Well, I'll be honest with you. Georgie Kelly goes to go into Carlisle on a permanent deal is an absolute.
That's a shock.
Wow.
We were talking about this, and that literally, basically an hour ago, Mick. Does Georgie need to go out on loan? Does he need to play some minutes? Does he need to get game time? And he's off. He's offered a permanent deal to League One. He joins Josh Coyote in League One. That's a shock, an absolute shock. That one
came out of nowhere. That didn't it? That came out of absolutely nowhere. Yeah. Well, good luck to Georgie. Good luck to him. You know,
Bloody hell.
I'm disappointed. I can't say I'm not. I absolutely love him. However, he needs to be playing full time. He needs to be playing first team football, and obviously that's what he's going to get when he goes up to Carlisle. So disappointed with that. I'll be honest.
For him, that's an amazing deal, though. First and foremost, for him, that's a great deal.
Yeah, it is.
100%.
Yeah, he needed that. He needed to go
and
loan.
Yeah. So we'll have to see what that means for us. You know, we've got Talaji Bowler's gone out, Kieran McGuckin's gone out on loan, Georgie's gone. So you know the options are becoming less and less. So you would hope that there's going to be something that will instigate or might mean that there's somebody coming in that area. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, disappointing. It's permanent, absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't like that.
No, I don't
like it.
I'm actually shocked by that. Jesus Christ.
It's I'll see what
It's not right, lads. It's not often that I'm speechless on anything, but I'm actually speechless that Georgie's gone. Like, just wow.
Sounds like he went a couple days ago as well.
Yeah, there's pictures of him already in the Carlisle shirt.
He's coming into us with a slight niggle in his calf, which has meant he's missed a few days of training this week. That could hint that he's been with them for the past week, maybe. Or it means that he hasn't trained with us for the past week. Make of that what you will.
Yeah. There's no rumours of fees. If anything comes up in terms of rumours of fees, we'll obviously go through that. Yeah, anyway, as I was saying...
3.5-year deal as well, fair play.
Can we all take 5 minutes just to process and then...
Yeah, you take a minute. I'll just say goodbye to the audio listener. So if you're listening on iTunes and Spotify, this is the end of that part. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, and give us a 5-star rating. Thank you all for listening on iTunes and Spotify. Up the Millers. If you're on YouTube, stay as you are. Let's go through some comments because...
Mum, can I have some of your gin?
You need stronger stuff than that, Danny.
Harvey Kelly says 3 strikers. It needs to be yellow. Freezing Fury says he wasn't anyway good enough for the championship.
Yeah.
We'll give us something to talk about, I suppose. Nick says wish him all the best. He'll do great in League One playing football. CJ says we need a striker. Harry says he might cry. Powerman says the worst day ever. Nathan Crabtree just says wow. Sean H says Kelly on a loan, yes, but not a permanent. Nick says really shocked at that. Thought it would be great in League One. Undisclosed fee, as Scott Kent says. Yeah, I mean we'll always have Gillingham, Danny. And it's one of those guys that we love Georgie, and he will go down as a Rotherham legend. He's only scored like 6 goals or whatever it is.
Yeah,
but Georgie's Georgie, and we'll always have that moment. And I suppose we should always be thankful that he came in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, oh God, thinking back, I was still working at Brownwood Golf Club when he signed, and that podcast came out with Paul Warne and was it Carl Robinson?
Yeah, Mick's had to go off for a cry.
Yeah, Mick's gone off for a drink after that. But yeah, I mean, we sort of heard from Paul Warne how he wasn't necessarily in his plans to begin with, and he sort of got his chance against Gillingham, and then he showed exactly what he was about, and that earned him automatic cult hero status. I mean, like you say on the Carlisle article, it only says he scored 6 goals total, but you know,
they're all massive, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, the only goal that's really not substantial was the one against Hull, which was like 4-2 in like the last minute or something. Yeah. But he scored the equaliser against Ipswich. He scored the winner against Huddersfield. He scored the promotion sealer against Gillingham, just to name a few. And I think, even though he's only with us for 2 years, Georgie will be one of those players where he will always be remembered as a Rotherham United player, unless he does something absolutely phenomenal at Carlisle.
Unless he goes to Pigs.
Yeah, well, yeah, unless he goes to Pigs, then he gets automatically shunned. He will always be a cult hero at Rotherham. I mean, you know, Lifondra scored loads and loads of goals for us, but he was only with us for a short time. I think Georgie's going to be the exact opposite. He was with us for a short time, didn't score a lot, but he scored so substantially that he will be remembered as a Rotherham player. And John's right. I actually might cry because I really like Georgie. He was such a sound bloke. I really liked him.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that in 20 years, if Kev Johnson's still doing these legend nights, Georgie will pop up on one. Just to talk about one game, basically.
Well, he was a good guy behind it, wasn't he?
He seems like a top bloke and all, doesn't he?
He did a lot for the community. I think he won Rotherham's personal community award, didn't he? So he wasn't just a good, he was. I think everyone's, said it enough that he wasn't championship level yet, and he wasn't. He never was. He was really raw. Inside the box, he was phenomenal. Outside of the box, he was pretty subpar. And I think that's a valid representation of him. But for him to go on a permanent is, you have to have something in the works. If we don't, I'll be honest, I wasn't worried about the transfer window until this moment, because after seeing that, if we don't sign someone now, I'll be very, very, very upset and disappointed. Yeah. I think if we let him go and bring in someone of a substantial magnitude, striker, winger, whatever it may be, I don't care. Then fair enough. But because even you can admit this, Mick, he was a fringe player. He was never going to start for us. He was never going to come off the bench and make a big impact. And selling him for a decent fee is probably good for him, decent for us. But like you said, would have loved him to have gone on loan. Absolutely absolutely smashed 15 goals in this last half. I still hope he does. I hope he somehow absolutely. I don't know what position Carlisle in. Somehow managed to fire them to the playoffs and be their kind of hero, because he deserves it. He's a good guy. Never got a real chance with us. It was always too raw for us to actually appreciate him.
Ironically, the worst thing that happened to Georgie was getting promoted, because he needed a season in League One.
Yeah, he did. He was never good enough for Championship, and I think he knew it. I think he said in a couple of interviews that he knew he wasn't up to that standard. But for him, he was like 25, 26 when he joined us, scored like 1 goal every game in League of Ireland. You can't get better than that. To then come straight into the Championship was tough for him, but he was one of them players that I know. I mean, I'm not on this podcast, religiously as you guys are, but it would have been great to interview. He really would have been. He would have been a fantastic guest. He would have loved it, and he would have loved talking about it and whatnot. He would have been a good guy. So it's actually a real. I'm with Danny. The more I talk about it, the more upset I get.
Yeah,
it's actually a real shame. At first, I was like, it's probably good money, and he was never going to play for us. But you more think about it,
Imagine he's gone. Imagine if Jamie Lindsay isn't going on all tonight. What an absolute
don't start. Do not start.
He might.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be quite the admin screw up then, wouldn't it? It would not be a good. It would not be a happy camp.
We are saying incoming. IOCK, are you okay? Says that Paul Davis has to. Yeah, Radio Sheffield have said incomings.
It's all well and good. It's all well and good.
Incomings with an S. The problem is now, Mick, that you have to. We can't play the rest of the season, or we can, but we can't. We shouldn't be playing the rest of the season with just 4 strikers. When for a lot of weekends we're going to want to play with 2. So if you play with 2 strikers and you've got 3 and one gets injured, well, you're not playing with 2 strikers very often, are you?
No.
So it's crucial. Not only do we need a defender, the right back who's supposedly coming in, and the Rinomhota who's coming in. Now, strikers are an absolute must over the next hour and 50 minutes.
No pressure. You've got an hour and 50 minutes left at transfer window. Get me a striker and do it now.
We don't need one. We don't need a striker, in all due fairness.
We do. We need a 4th.
We never play one up front anyway.
Well, Middlesbrough was the first game we played one up top under Richardson.
Hold on. We don't. How often did Georgie come off the bench? Be honest.
You need that 4th man. If Nombe gets injured for 2 months and we're stuck with Hugo and Eves.
So what?
We're a bit bothered then, aren't we?
Alone?
It depends how much you've got for Georgie. It is Georgie. Any money we've made is profit because we got him for a free.
Yeah, but I'd personally prioritise wingers and a midfielder over a striker. With that money, I'd personally prioritise wingers easily, or at least quicker players.
So
We had
3
3 of the same player. with Hugo, Nombe, and
Yeah, we did.
Hugo, Eves, and Kelly. We had 3 of the same player, and Kelly was arguably the worst of them.
Yeah,
Not bad,
I think
but
that's
the
fair.
worst.
Rasmus says, who wants to be the fourth man? I'm not saying we signed somebody to be the fourth guy, but you signed somebody to be first or second, and then Eves and Hugo drop down the order.
That's a fair comment, though. You know, the chances are when we've got Hugo there and £1 million in Nombe, you know, if you're going to be coming here as a striker, the chances are you know that you're not going to be starting potentially.
Danny, couldn't you pop me any of that?
Sorry. He's not got gin in it yet either. Hang on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carry on. I'm going to go away. Carry on.
Oh, he's gone.
He's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it is sad, but you've got to be mercenary about this. I'm not sure I mentioned it in the comments earlier on. You know, the reality is that Georgie's not played very many minutes at all, and he's clearly surplus to requirements. He needs some game time, so get him. He's gone. We move on. He's brought us some good times. You know, he scored that goal at Gillingham that none of us who were there and who weren't there will ever forget. But you know, we're in a different position now, and we need experience. We need people who are going to be able to contribute. And Liam Richardson clearly felt that that Georgie wasn't that man.
Yeah, it seems that way. Mike Miller says, let's face it, we love Georgie because of his personality, a really good, nice guy, not for his ability yet, apart from the Gillingham goal.
I disagree. I think his ability was there, and I think that's what makes it a bit more tough to take, because we could see he was a good goal scorer, natural goals. I think he was the best goal scorer in the club by far.
Yeah, naturally.
I think he was the most natural, got in the right positions, could finish one-on-ones, headers, got in the right position. That goal against Huddersfield where I don't know. That was his best goal for us, I think, where he somehow stooped down. He was in the right area, stooped down, placed it. He was the most natural guy. I'd back him over Hugo in any situation. And I think the upsetting thing is he is 27, 28. He's not getting younger, but he's got that ability in there somewhere. And I hope I hope in League One he smashes it. I absolutely do. I hope he. Like you said, Matt, before, the worst thing that happened was us getting promoted. Because if we would have had one more season in League One, he would have been top goal scorer, come up to the Championship, smashed it again. Could have been one of our absolute cult heroes, not just to remember this guy for what he did and who he was. You know, an absolute hero. But yeah, it's hopefully he absolutely smashes it with Carlisle, and he should do. He's a League One striker. I mean, what was it? What was it in pre-season? You played against Mansfield, who were currently
against Mansfield.
Yeah, exactly.
Against somebody else as well, I think.
Yeah.
He had the same season before in when Warney were. He had a really, really good pre-season again. When he were playing against League One teams, League Two teams in friendlies, he had really good pre-seasons.
Yeah.
I do think that's low. John Morrell says, being honest, if he was best to finish at the club, he would be the team without doubt. His all-round game's nowhere near anybody else's, and we don't create enough chances. You know, in League One, where we would have created loads of chances, I think it had a bit different. So we don't create enough to just have a finisher on the pitch.
Yeah,
sad. Craig Miller says, sad to see Kelly leave, but who knows who's coming in? We need to be positive. This mixes things up because it's a body out, Danny. And Tom might be right. Tom, I see what Tom's saying. We don't necessarily need a striker. That's fine, but it means we need another body in because we're already a man down because Dexter's left from the squad. So we're already one man down. 2 men if you count Lajibola. 3 men now if you count Georgie Kelly. And we already had a threadbare squad anyway. So you're now looking, saying we probably going to need 3 players in the next hour and 14 minutes. 4 hours and 44 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's why Georgie going on a permanent is such a shock. I mean, like we said, alone, all right, fair enough. Like, he's not getting the minutes that he deserves at this level with us. So you could understand alone, and then he comes back a better player with more minutes on his belt, etc., etc. But he's gone on a loan, so it's just like he's gone on a permanent. So it's just like like that's another space to fill. It's like McGuckin's gone to Dundalk, which is fair enough. That's brilliant for him. So that's freed up a space. But with Georgie, like we've said with the 4-striker argument, it was a space that didn't really need filling unless there is someone lined up. And if there isn't someone lined up, then it's even more puzzling as to why we've let him go.
Yeah.
Because then that leaves Hugo, Nombe, and Eves, which, right, fair enough, they've all got their own attributes which contribute to the team, but there's no one that can bring a bit of a, unorthodox style to us, which could upset defenders. Because you could work the three of them out quite quickly. Hugo is the big man who likes to fall over. Nombe's got pace, and Eves is your stereotypical centre forward. That's it. There's no one to upset the apple cart now. So that's why it strikes me as being a bit of a strange one, and I really do think that has weakened the squad. Not to the point of it's a starting player that will lose any benefit to the team. I think it's a case of it's a player that no one can work out, and that's took a string off our bow, really. So I do hope
it's been unorthodox for us all season, mate.
Yeah, exactly. So I hope something happens in the next hour and 40 odd minutes in terms
42.
of 42. Well, 1 hour 42 and 33 seconds.
I thought it was 3. Yeah.
So I've got a counter on my phone. But yeah, I hope something happens in that time, because Richardson said that he wants to bring in an attack-minded player. I mean, is it going to be a striker? Is it going to be an attacking midfielder? Is it going to be anybody? I don't know. But yeah, I'm actually genuinely gutted that George is gone. Genuinely.
Format says it's a shambles. That's what it is. What I would say is there's an hour and 40 minutes. It's like, I thought about this earlier, it's like having a Sunday dinner and not liking your sprouts and throwing it in bin. We haven't finished yet. Let's get to if we get to 11 o'clock and we're still in this situation, that absolutely would be a shambles. If we've not signed anybody, then it's going to be an absolute shambles. Absolutely right. But we're expecting at least 2 players coming in, maybe even 3 now George is gone. So just chill.
Yeah. Agreed.
Chill.
Yeah.
Chill.
But if it does get to past the deadline and we haven't made a signing, I think it's
get the bed sheets out, sack the board.
I think it can genuinely get very toxic. I don't think it. I think a lot of people will do that. Personally, I don't think so, but I think it can get like that.
It's already toxic. It's been toxic all month because people have been stamping their feet because they've not got what they wanted straight away. And it's time. It's time we all as supporters grew up a little bit. We've got professional people running our football club, wherever you think of them. And they're trying to do the best for the football club. Calling people out and insulting people constantly and telling them how crap they are is just utterly pointless. I'm sorry. It's like this. We're jumping gun, like you said there, Matt. It's not even finished. How do we know? And you don't know what's been going on behind the scenes. You look at the movement this transfer window, and it's been absolutely dire. There's been virtually no movement anywhere across the football league. The odd players have signed, the odd clubs have signed 1-2 players here. That's about it. If there's no movement anywhere else, there's going to be no movement to us. It's not rocket science, because there's a finite number of players and a finite number of clubs. And until the dominoes start to fall, there's no movement at the other end. And we are at the other end, as we pointed out, given the fact that we're bottom at league, and also given the fact that we're not going to pay stupid wages for mediocre players, like some of our near neighbours do. So, yeah.
Liam says, Liam did say that Sean says, Liam wanted him in earlier. I guess he meant early February.
Yeah, there we go.
Exactly. He didn't specify early when, did it? So devil's in the detail.
Given the comment there that Plymouth might have signed 6, but there are 91 other football clubs.
that have had a really most of them had a really quiet window. The window's been crazy quiet.
You know what Plymouth have done as well. They've hired the England under what I think I said to you, Matt, the other day. England under 20 coach. Guess how many players they've signed that were England under 20? 4 of them.
Yeah. There you go.
Devine Phillips or Delvine Phillips. That new one that they signed today, Sosa, so whatever. You know, a lot of
they're
them
also in a much better position than us. They're not bottom of the league.
They are. A lot of loans, a lot of connections, which we don't have, which you can take whatever way you want. Just because a team that are in a better position have signed more players than us does not mean that we haven't tried to sign the same players or tried as hard as them. Does not mean that in the slightest. I mean, hell, we were after Lang, who went to Portsmouth instead. A lot of people said we should go out and get Owen Moxon. He went to Portsmouth. Derby, Corey Blackett-Taylor, I would have loved to have come to Rotherham. We went to Derby. We are, and we've said it for the last month, bottom of the food chain, and there's no sugarcoating that. We can't say to a player, look, you can come to us. We'll play in League One next season, but we promise that we'll be up the next season. Cannot do that. You either bring in loan players for half a season and hope that they do the best that they can, or you bring in players that are maybe top end League 2, bottom end League 1, but are performing well, and that's just too big a risk. So, you know, and like, I know people are taking the mick out of Liam Richardson saying 9 subs and AFCON and Asian Cup, but look at Spurs' bench the other night. 4 of the 9 subs were youth players that have never played a minute of men's football, who we could get on loan, but can't because they are playing men's football for their club who want them. Like, it is a valid statement. We can loan those type of players, of course we can, but you know, we're not going to in the current circumstances. It's been tough, and considering I don't think Man U haven't signed a player, City haven't signed a player, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, I can't think of one player that any of them have signed of any substantial note. Tottenham have signed Werner, and I would not want him.
That's a loan. Yeah.
Well, actually, I would. But
I haven't done updated this, but I did a count up last week on Wednesday, last Wednesday, and there were 7 permanent signings 3 weeks into a in the Premier League, which is just unheard of. It is literally unheard of, and that's probably why the last day or two has really ramped up into the transfers, because there's no more games for the Premier League clubs. They're not playing, so they can now, those players that are due to come back from AFCON in a few days' time, their backups can now go out on loan, or their backups can now go out on loan, or whatever else. Because it's been quite one of the quietest winners ever, but the last 24 hours has been a bit mad, really, in terms of rumours anyway. Michael kind of puts in the striker situation. We had 6 strikers: Hugo, Eves, Kelly, Green, McGuckin, and Nombe. We're now down to 3: Hugo, Eves, and Nombe. Yeah, McGuckin was never going to play. He's got a great loan over in Dundalk, so that's a really good signing for him. Green was never played as a striker. We might have signed him as a striker, but he never played as a striker. And has Kelly played any minutes under Richardson? Not many, if he has.
No.
No. Some people complain that you get rid of players. If we're getting rid of players that aren't playing for us, other than Dexter, who played most minutes, we're getting rid of Talajibola, who's not played any minutes. We're getting Georgie, who's barely played any minutes. So if you're going to be like mercenary about it, these are good guys to get rid of, because they're off the wage bill. You've got a bit of money for Georgie probably as well. That makes sense. That's good to get rid of those, but as long as you have the extra body you can bring in to kind of replace them. Before we move on, I see there's over 200 people watching this at the moment, so make sure you are subscribed on YouTube as well, and give us a thumbs up, give it the like on YouTube. If you're watching through Twitter, which we have gone on tonight, or X, make sure you follow us on X, and I don't know what else you do on X to like the video. Just give it that heart. Yeah. Thank you. Deadline day is fun. We had fun last deadline day. That was easy because we broke the transfer record twice. This couldn't be any more different. This transfer window couldn't be any more different.
You said that we could break our transfer window record by not signing anybody. So you know.
Yeah. Stop it, mate.
Record breaking night, Matt.
Stop it.
Watch this space.
Although news has just broken from Peterborough, and it's quoted Darren McAntony saying there's no deal for Peter Kyoso. We tried to buy, we tried to loan, we did our best, we tried to do everything. So Kyoso is staying for the rest of the season.
He's going to throw a fast one.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Nick Lacey says,
Cheeky million bid to put him in loads of debt with loan sharks, yeah.
Nick Lacey says Ipswich don't have trouble scoring, but they signed Kiefer Moore and Al Hamidi. Yeah, they're paying about £30,000 of Kiefer Moore's wages, reportedly. Ipswich.
And
Jesus.
that Al Hamidi was $1 million, so it's not cheap.
Correct.
And they've still got Hurst at the club, so you know
He's
the
injured,
real
though, isn't he? He's out for most of the season.
Yeah. That's why they've signed 2 strikers, more to actually play for them. And that Al Herman, he's 21 and scored 20 in 24 games or something ridiculous. You know, that's think when I said no player is going to come to us, the players that we are reasonably looking at are him, Macaulay Langstaff, who might think, okay, I'll bet my chances with a championship club and see it for half it. But then Ipswich come in with a bid and it's like, oh yeah, no, we're never getting him.
Basically.
Just like that.
Yeah. Well, John Wells, the second,
Yeah.
If you're a slight interest in somebody else Ipswich has interest in, going to Ipswich, that's the end of it. There's barely a conversation to be had.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, George Hurst won't get a sniff at this season now, but that's because Kiefer Moore is on loan and that Al Hamidi is going to play for them next season no matter where they are, I reckon. It's just a case of how it is.
Kiefer Moore's a great signing for them to try and keep where they are. That's a great signing for them.
Yeah. They couldn't. Whoever said that they don't have trouble scoring, I think watch one of their games and you can see that they do. They really do. They don't have an out-and-out goal scorer in their team. They score a lot from Chaplin and Broadhead and that's about it. They create a lot of chances and don't score. I mean, look at Maidenstone game. They created so much and didn't score. They needed a striker, and both of them are both prolific goal scorers.
That Maidstone game was brilliant to watch. It was so funny.
It was great.
Mick, you were saying something?
Yeah, I was just going to say that they might put George Hurst out on loan.
Yeah.
First.
The homecoming. The homecoming.
No.
Yeah.
Imagine if he comes back next season and he scores 20 for us. Would anyone be annoyed?
No. It's his level. I'll be honest with you, League One's his level.
You know who I kind of wanted us to sign, which might be a bit controversial, was Lewis Wing. You know, Reading aren't in a good spot financially.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind him.
I like Lewis Wing, to be honest with you.
I think it's controversial, but you know.
I think the fact he went to Wednesday soured it a little bit. To be fair.
I did forget about that.
Mm.
Oh, I did forget.
I think whenever a player leaves us, whether it's directly or indirectly, it sours it a little bit. I think the only exception to it is Volks, I think.
Yeah, because he didn't go directly there, did he?
Yeah.
There's a difference.
I think because he left us in his prime, we got a fair bit for him, and then he went to Wednesday afterwards. It was a bit of all right, fair enough. But if they leave us on a free and then end up at Wednesday somehow, it's a bit of a scoundrel,
Yeah.
I can't believe that I'm hearing Lewis Wing's name mentioned. Yeah,
Well,
I know that it's not attractive.
Mick don't like him.
Yeah, I can tell.
Oh, Bennett.
I like him.
Did you not? Yeah, I thought he was good when he was with us. I mean, I wouldn't take him back. I thought that'd be, get him on the cheap.
Yeah.
Why not?
Is it Reading? It was at Reading, wasn't it? Everybody's got a seat from them.
Oh yeah. Well, you'd try and poach half of Reading's squad at the minute, wouldn't you? I mean,
Poor
sorry for whatever's happening to them, but their losses are gain.
Also, have you seen? I know this is completely off topic, but Peterborough released their goalkeeper 2 days ago, Jed Steer.
Yeah.
They released him. I don't know if Mick, have you seen this, Mick?
No.
They released Jed Steer 2 days ago, and they've announced him today as a new signing. Like a new signing video and everything.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. I was like, you got rid of him two days ago. You said bye, and now you've done a big fancy of signing on video for him.
That needs investigating, surely. That's an accounting cop-out, that must
That sounds like some trickiness from Dara there, I'll be honest. What's Peter Swan had to say about it?
Alan Swan.
M&O, his brother Alan.
There's a few signs going through. Bristol City have just signed somebody on loan. Coventry have signed that Peterborough fullback I mentioned a little bit ago. A couple of League One signings as well.
I've got one here from Darren Whitcoop saying QPR to follow up Isaac Hayden's signing by wrapping up a loan deal for another midfielder in Wolves, Joe Hodge. Hodge was also believed to have been interested in Cardiff and Rotherham this month.
Okay.
So that's one that we haven't heard nothing about, but apparently we were in for him and QPR have got him, which is also quite annoying.
I suspect we've been in for loads of people, and I think that's why it's odd that all these rumours have started coming out today, really, because it's been so quiet. I think you earlier, Tom, weren't we? On that sort of private chat. Yeah. It's been dead. The rumours have been dead, and today it's just we've seen 6 or 7 rumours. It's just a bit mad.
Yeah, it's a bit. Is it a bit weird? I don't know. I was saying it before, but you know, when nothing comes the whole month and then 3 rumours come at once, you almost think, is this a little bit staged? Don't know.
Yeah.
Like the Kelly thing, it seems like hypothetically he might have been there a while, nothing's come out of it. I don't know. Liam Richardson is one of the most closed off people possible, and I think if anything comes out, it's not through him. So I think if anything is coming out, it's either extremely close to happening, i.e. within the hour, and that's not been proven the case, or it's not true. So I personally don't think that we are getting what I can't pronounce his actual
Rinomhota.
That one, yeah, and Seriki, Seriki or something. I don't know. It's one of those. I don't. I'm with Mick. I don't believe a rumor until I actually see it.
Yeah. Unless I reckon we're going to announce De Bruyne on loan, and that'll make the window even better.
Somebody called John De Bruyne.
Yeah, Paul De Bruyne. But his name is actually just De Bruyne.
no, it gets better. His name will probably be like Dave De Bruyne or something like that.
De Bruyne.
John was right. The brick and bar should be yellow. Is that the right kind of yellow? Are we happy with that? Or we want to change that?
Yeah.
That's right to me.
What's the colour of sadness? Can we make it that for Georgie leaving?
Blue? Oh, we can't have that kind of blue.
Oh no, that's the colour of anger.
We'll stick with yellow for now.
Do we put in outgoings?
Well,
it's the only thing that's happened, I guess.
I'll say what else happened? There's Bowler, McGuckin.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about Bowler going? So I say joke for my birthday, because obviously Tom Bowler. This is Bowler's signed shirt from Wigan. My dad bought it to me, and about 20 minutes later, he got announced that he was going on loan to Burton, and basically never coming back, which I thought was really funny. So I thought it was pretty funny.
That does make me laugh. I like that. Mick, what do you think? I know this is where we are tonight. What are your thoughts on the boxing video that the club put out earlier?
Oh, Christ.
2 days ago.
Oh, man, come on. You've got to have more than that.
Instigated some more daft comments, didn't it? But I don't know whether Sam Todd and the media team are just toying with people now or what, but
I think it was fine. I think it's more. I think in terms of content, it's more content than they've given us in the last 2 years. It's something that they've done outside the training. It's not a video of them training. It's what was that thing that they did in the summer where it was like the Love Island thing with Victor? And
the keeper Love Island.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Yeah,
they should have kept that up the whole year. Morale would have been up. Fans would have absolutely kind of get along with it. It depends. I don't know. With our fans, it might have been any old thing. But if you get Morrison and I don't know, bloody Hall doing a roommates thing or chatting, and you just feel a bit more connected to the club. And I think there's such a disconnect now that video, albeit is going to get a lot of hate because everyone's why haven't we got a sign in, and it's going to instigate that. But if everything had gone swimmingly and they released that, I think there'd be no qualms with it, and that's the disappointing thing. I think it's really good content, but it's gone down so horrendously because of circumstances not involving the media team, the content team, that they're just not going to do it again. And I think that's a real shame, in all honesty. You look at it and you see, that the first 10 seconds is Cam Humphreys giggling his head off.
Yes.
And it made me laugh horrendously. I don't know why. It's just so infectious. It was brilliant. Just him cowering and screaming and giggling away from Chelsea made my Monday night or whatever it was. It was brilliant. It was really funny. And I'd love to see more of that stuff, whether it be boxing or whether it be in the training ground or some team meeting type stuff. I think that content is rich. So Sam, if you're watching, go for it, mate.
Yeah,
they've probably got this on in the lounge whilst they're signing.
They're laughing at us. They've got 4 contracts signed, sealed, ready to go. They're just
Is one of them Dave De Bryan, by the way?
Dave De Bryan.
Harry says, as there's no other news to add, Kyoso stays. That's very likely to be done. Jack the Snake, the gaming says he's gutted about Georgie, but hopefully Liam has something planned to up. So Nick mentions, as well as team bonding, it's doing something different. Absolutely, it is. And the big thing, Danny, is Tom's mentioned it. Cam Humphries. Cam Humphries looked like the happiest guy in the world. And if he's the happiest guy in the world, that tells you he can't be far off away from at least being in the match day squad.
Yeah.
No, not at all. And I think I don't think it's a massive contributor into why we've been so quiet this window, but it has to have been on Richardson's mind that we've got a fair few players back from injury quite quickly. So maybe that's delayed it a little bit, I think, and maybe not made a centre back a priority because we've got two coming back very quickly. But to see Humphries like effectively wetting himself laughing in one of those videos, that's it goes to show he's happy with the club, and I think he's happy with himself as well, and happy with his progress. And I just pray that he's back in time to make a serious difference to this season as well.
Yeah. John asks, is this Ask Mick the most annoying question section of the show? If so, he highly recommends it.
Knock yourself out. Ask away.
Yeah. There is an update on Femi Seriki. Scott Kent says it looks like he is coming to us. Looks like it. No, nothing official. Worth noting also that Cardiff seem to be just about to announce a signing as well. Don't have a name yet for you on that one just yet. But again, it could play into the Rinomhota deal, as you'd expect. The dominoes sometimes fall, sometimes don't. They appear to be starting to fall on deadline day. We need to get some more deadline day phrases. We need to start saying slam shut more often, don't we?
Yeah.
Things such as that.
So, with this, with the Seriki deal, I've just read it then. It said that Liam Richardson basically sold him the deal, which is fine, perfect, cool. Manager's doing a good job. It said guaranteed championship football. So what does that entail? Do you reckon? Do you reckon that's a start every game? Do you reckon that's do you reckon he's a left wing back?
That's
a right
that's very loose. Just
it is,
like guaranteeing championship football. I mean, if you were to say guaranteed game time, then it could be a little bit different. But guaranteeing championship football, that could be 5 minutes at the end of the game.
It's just a football.
That's what I mean. I can't see that being a selling point for a player. Is what I'm trying to say. Is guaranteed champ. Either he said you start every game in the championship, or I don't know.
That sounds right. With if and when the signing gets announced, he'd be back up for Kyoso by it sounds of it in the wing back sort of role. So I think Peltier is going to get pushed into the potentially right side of centre back position. So I think we just need cover for the right wing back, and that might be why we're signing this young lad from Sheffield United. But by it sounds of it, Kyoso's not going anywhere. But if Kyoso does go to Peterborough and we sign this young lad, that would actually make me less happy, because then it'd just be a young on loan player.
It's like Dexter thing again, isn't
it? Yeah. So I'd rather have like an interchangeable type player, like one young on loan wanting a few minutes, and a player that's sort of like done his best in League One this season, done really well, and then come back on a deal to us, and have those interchangeable on the right side, rather than like Kyoto going back to Peterborough and then we bring this lad in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I do know what you mean. Nick says unless you can play on the left. If you can play on the left, then that helps as well. But we're pretty set on the left, aren't we, really? We've got Revan, we've got Cohen Bramwell. Worst comes to worst, when Taylor Blackett's back, you could stick Blackett out there. You don't want to do that, but you could. If you were third or fourth choice down, you could do it. Craig Miller says, are we going for 2 or 3 tonight? Mick's laughing.
Yeah.
It's not another Alan Swan tweet, is it?
No, Mick's seen Lewis Wing been announced.
No, I've seen a few comments earlier on in comment section there, and I thought people would just take it Mickey. But somebody has actually tweeted about
about the hacks thing. Yeah.
It's like TC9 or something, isn't it?
What? Are they? What planet is what? Is it a parody account?
Well,
I think it's meant to be, yeah.
yeah, I think we'd be lucky to get 50k for him. I think, you know.
Get him on a free. Just get rid.
Yeah.
Terminate contract.
We'll pay them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No. Lack of movement as I thought for our. You got to appreciate the drama of the situation, don't you, Mick? This is not, if you sign 5 people on the 1st of January, what would we have to moan about? Well, we'd have nothing to whinge and moan about, so we might as well just get 3 done on deadline day, and it just plays into the drama.
I'd like a period of not moaning, if I'm honest. I know that sounds unusual.
That's next season, though, isn't it? I don't think you're going to get that this season.
But yeah, I just like a period of calm, where people just sort of like that, rather than constantly having a pop at somebody else. It's just me.
You support Rotherham United, don't you?
Yeah.
I got bought today, and I did some looking up about. I was convinced we must have had some boring seasons. But by my account, I've been watching Rotherham for around 28 years, something like that, and we've had 14 promotions and relegations. So there's never going to be a calm time, is there? Never. It's just the club we've got, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's why we love it.
It is.
And these bad times, these are the times that make the good times better.
Yes, and we do them all. Matt Bramley says we can't have Mick not moaning. What will we laugh about?
Come and work with me, mate. I'll tell you that. I'm a lot better at work than I am here when it comes to moaning.
Cardiff are still teasing an announcement. It doesn't say who it is. They've got 2 teaser videos out, which doesn't help us, Cardiff. Football Man asks, what's Femi like? I don't think anybody has seen him play.
I have notes.
Bastard,
So he's a young lad who's come through Sheffield United's academy. He was originally in Bury's academy until they folded, and then he went straight to Sheffield United. He's made 2 championship appearances for the Blades, but hasn't really got a look in whilst he's been in Premier League. I actually don't know why he's not been loaned out earlier, to be fair. And I honestly think he's going to be a backup to Kyoso. He's slightly unproven at this level, I think, because he's gone out on loan on a few various occasions. So, yeah, it's going to be one of them where it's like he's either going to hit the ground running or he's going to be of a similar ilk to Lembikisa, where if you play to his strengths, he'll be fantastic, but if you don't, he'll struggle. I think that's the best way to put it. Like I think Lembikisa going to Hearts, they've played to his strength, and that's why he's doing really well. Whereas with us, we didn't, and that's why he struggled. But he's a young, hungry lad who wants first-team football, and it strikes me that Sheffield United want to get game time into him. And there's nothing better than a relegation scrap where you play your heart out every single game to really get the iron in you as a football player. So I think he'll certainly come into us as a hungry player. He's a wing back, so he'll certainly push us up the field a little bit better in the wide areas, which suits the way Richardson plays. So yeah, it's one of them where it's like it's either going to be really good or really poor, but time will tell with it, unfortunately. And I think it's just a case of game time for him with him coming to us.
Yeah. Unrelated news. Nathan Jones looks like he's about to get back into management at Charlton Athletic. How bad must we be if he chose Charlton over us? I don't get that. That's really weird. I assumed they were waiting for a decent championship job.
In terms of their sort of championship downwards, they're a bit of a sleeping giant, aren't they, Charlton? I guess.
Been leaving for ages, aren't they?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, and who knows? Bit bizarre, bit of a strange one that, but he seems to be a bit of a strange lad, doesn't he, Nathan?
Maybe he didn't fancy the head coach role. He seemed like a control freak, doesn't he? Maybe that was a sticking point.
Quite possibly, yeah.
I could see him doing I couldn't see him sticking it out though. if times got tough with us, he could have left easily. I don't think he really is. If he had to come to 2 games and still was umming and ahhing about it, his heart wasn't in it, was it? So
No.
it's fair.
if he did eventually join, he would have just left at the drop of a hat, which is not what you want, really. You want a bit of stability.
Yeah, that's right. Nick says pacey. About to score back from Sheffield United.
But so was Dexter. Apparently, I don't remember him blitzing any, attack. I don't know. Anyway,
No, he didn't.
we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a proper deputy for them now. That was Dexter's problem. One of Dexter's problems that it could never be taken out of firing line. Like now, he might be better staying because now he would be able to take out the firing line. As Harry just mentioned, Cardiff announced a goalkeeper, which helps nobody.
They also announced. I saw someone before said that they're waiting on Wilson. They've signed that Wilson Ebrand, left wing back from. Or
that'll be confirmed.
Well, yeah, they when I was on the train still, I'm sure I saw.
Oh right, yeah.
By them.
So yeah, hour and 13 minutes.
Oh, Ethan Horvath. They've signed that American guy from Luton. Was it Luton? Yeah, they announced
it wasn't Luton. It's from Forest.
Yes.
Rumours of Forest after a goalkeeper late in the window.
They've already signed one.
I'm hoping Victor's gone to bed.
No, they've already signed. They've
already
signed,
got something. Okay.
Yeah, they signed Sells from Belgium League or something.
That'll do me.
Yeah.
That'll do me. Not about looking inside anyway. Steve Tom says, win or lose Rotherham forever a bit. Great podcast. Keep up the work. I hope we sign David De Bruyne. Faith of Football breaking news: Wednesday, Let It Die podcast rumored to be tabling a last-minute bid to snatch Mick from New York Talk with a fee in the region of a bottle of tropical fizzy pop and a bag of quavers.
Listen. If the prawn cocktail quavers, I might be interested.
That's an exclusive that we know what his recruitment fee is now.
That comment opens up a whole world of possibility, none of which I'm willing to take.
Yes. Shall we move on?
Yeah, let's move on quick before I start to leak.
Jamie Lindsay is here as things stand.
Yeah.
I think it's unlikely he will leave now, but we don't know. We're in that stage where we don't really know. If Jamie Lindsay does leave the club, how is that? How would you feel about that departure if it happened?
Have you sort of turned over your final sheet of notes and got back to the first question of the podcast? Or?
Well, we didn't really cover it. We were very, very brief, weren't we, on Jamie Lindsay thing?
I'd be disappointed to see him go. Very much so, because he's been great for the club, and ironically, the best season he had for us was in COVID when nobody could go to games. But he's not getting game time. He needs game time, as all players do. And I don't know whether it's a bit of Georgie, the same sort of attitude it is with Georgie, where you're a bit nostalgic about players and sentimental. He's okay. He's an okay Championship player. He's a very, very good League One player. Yeah. And which is probably where Wrexham are heading. It will be a good move for him. It will be a good move for Wrexham. Unless we're going to replace him, it will be a bad move for us. But obviously, if we're going to replace him, then it's a different matter altogether. I'd be sad to see him go, but players move on, don't they? And we'll have a similar player in Ollie Rathbone. So he's out of contract in the summer. If we can get a fee for him now, that would make sense. It depends whether Wrexham are willing to pay that fee, and it would appear that that's not the case, that they are not willing to pay it. So it may be a last-minute deal, that one, if they finally decide, if they can't find anybody else and they decide that they're going to go for it, we'll have to wait and see. But I wouldn't be happy about him going, no. But, you've got to be realistic. We need some in. It's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do. Nick said, would we offer him a new contract if he doesn't leave? I certainly would. There might even be an extension clause in there. We don't know. It was a 2-year extension he signed there. Holly says, if end of an era, if Jamie leaves. Jamie leaves his biggest fan, Holly. Nicola Juice says, really hope Lindsay stays. He's too good for League Two. He is too good for League Two, but the money that they're paying on wages is probably as much as we're paying, at least as much as we're paying. So he might even end up with a pay increase to go down to League Two. And they're going to be in League One next season. They're going to be in the same league as us probably next season. So if I'm Jamie Lindsay, I'm not pushing for the move because I don't think Jamie Lindsay is that kind of guy. But I'd be pretty happy if that move came off because financially for him, I think it's a great move. And if it's rumoured to be around 600k for us, for a guy that's like contract in 3 or 4 months, I also think that's really good money, to be honest with you. When you've got Rathbone, who when Rathbone is on it, Danny, when Rathbone is on it, Rathbone's a better player than Jamie Lindsay. You just need to find that in Jamie in Ollie Rathbone again, don't you?
Yeah, but I think given the current climate of things, with Ollie being a bit off his form, that'd be why we don't get rid of Lindsay, because you can sort of swap and change it a little bit. So it's a weird one. I mean, for me, with Lindsay going for 600k, yeah, it'd be a good deal because he's out of contract in the summer, fair enough. But and he's not the same player that Barlaser was, and Barlaser went for just over $1 million, I think it was.
Oh. Get those lights.
Hello. Get those lights on. We're going through to the deadline. I want to go to bed. I am at work tomorrow, Rotherham United. What is going on?
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
You see, I saw a comment from Donna earlier where she said the lights are still on, so it might be red herring, but apparently something's happening, and Matt's gone to the toilet, which is quite funny. So well done, Matt. You've timed that really well. But going back to Lindsay, I agree with some people in the comments. He's too good for League Two with Wrexham. It sort of strikes me as potentially a move they could revisit in the summer if we were to let him go on a free, which makes you think, why are Wrexham so desperate to get him for 600k in January when they could try and sign him on a free in the summer, which could be a promotion season for them? So that's a bit of an interesting one. Maybe that's why we've sort of pushed it back a little bit and said, no, we want him for this amount of money, and they're not willing to match it. And then that could be domino effect for us, where we could get Volks or the lad who's now I'm not going to try and pronounce, who was at Wigan with Richardson back in the day. So it's ifs and maybes with Wrexham. I think if they are truly desperate, they might try and pull a Sunderland with Will Grigg, where they'll offer a stupid money for him and try and land him.
They've already done that, though, Danny, haven't they? I think that's probably the issue.
Essentially, yeah.
So, does the loan window shut tonight as well, or does that continue for?
I think it shuts tonight.
Yeah, I think the only exception to it is Scotland. If they were going on loan to Scotland, they have until 11:30, unless you apply for an extension. Matt, you've missed something on the club's Twitter whilst you've been at the toilet.
I can't go to bed. I'm working tomorrow, man.
I said exactly the same.
Who's the idea with this? Blame me.
Well, thing is as well is you just said that the loan market closes tonight, which we might be getting all our thing in before the loan market closes. Then we've got free agents until God knows when.
Fosu free agents in March or April. There is a window for us, but
yeah. But Fosu could come back. We could get so this person, that person. Who is that? Luke Freeman, who went to Barnet. Clearly not good enough for us, but he was someone that I thought was decent last season or something. Is anyone backing me on this one, or am I just going to be?
I don't remember. I don't remember what.
He was a Sheffield United player. No, he's Luke Freeman. Wicked left foot on him. He went to Barnet a couple of days ago. I thought we could have been in the race for him, but clearly he's not a good player. Well, I say that tongue in cheek. He's better than me, but if he's going to Barnet, then he's not league level standard, is he? So,
no, that's very true. We really are going to be scraping barrel for content, boys.
Well, I was gonna ask. So, if we sign 2 players tonight, hypothetically, but then we've got Humphreys, Blackett, and Ferguson back within the next 2 weeks, do you count that as a? Are you still upset? Are you a bit more? Because if you bring back Humphreys, you're bringing back a centre back. Because he got injured in September. He's been injured for the best part of the season, more or less. You bring back Humphreys, you bring in a centre back in him, and then you bring in an attacking midfielder in Hacks. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that seems like a pretty positive change.
Yeah, it does. You're still bodies down though, aren't you?
So, well,
If
yes
you only
and
bring
no.
2 in, you're 3 bodies down with Dexter.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Dexter
No,
as well.
in that case, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's.
I know
it's-
what you're saying, but it's difficult, isn't it?
I'm just trying to put a positive spin on it, and you wanted content, so I thought I'd throw a spanner in it. So,
I appreciate the effort, Tom.
no, it's all right. You know, when you look at when we say pacey wingers, you don't look at Ferguson, do you, as a pacey winger? But he is still a winger, and an out winger at that. I mean, left wing back maybe, but he's not got the legs for that, in my opinion. It's odd. I'd have taken Fosu back. I'd still take Fosu back, I think, personally. Even if he doesn't start for you, I think he offers something that nobody else in our squad does.
Yeah,
Who else?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you're right. But that's not been a rumor that's
No, but he's not been a rumour for any.
anywhere, has it?
No, he's not been a rumour for any club, so it's a bit of an odd one. I'd have
I
at
thought
least
someone would
thought
have picked him up by now.
Yeah,
I'm really surprised.
even a League One club, he might not be our level. I say.
No, you were good last year in parts. There's 100% a player in there with Tarek Fosu. There is absolutely a player there.
He's not a midfielder, that's for sure. He's a winger.
He's not a central midfielder. That was his problem last year.
That was a big issue. He was asked to play out of position, and it showed.
Yeah, it did big time.
I didn't mind Keena either. I know he was injured for a lot, but
He's gone somewhere else now, hasn't
he's gone to Udinese. But I had a check a couple of days ago, and he's not played for them yet, and he's been fit the entire time. He's just been on the bench.
he? So you're telling me that a Watford player went to Udinese,
Yep.
and he's not played? Interesting.
Nope.
I wonder if there's any reason.
Here.
Any reason that's
Nah,
no?
that's fine.
It sounds legitimate. Is all I'll say. It sounds really legitimate.
Tom, step away from your comment. There's nothing to see here.
I just spoke fact. I didn't say anything else.
Yeah.
I'd argue more to step away from the white wine, but anyway.
Danny's 2 pints deep on lilt, so.
Milton gin now, apparently. I've been given permission to drink gin now, so it's like
Given permission.
yeah, it's my mum's gin, so usually I'm not allowed to touch it. But
I see. But when Georgie leaves,
yes, my mum's more sad than I am, so she's taking us off to bed.
Toulon's gone back and Kelly gone. We need 2 permanents loan. If you forget Fred, I know Fred wouldn't have been available for another month, maybe, but it's still a body that he's replacing.
Yeah.
Very true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I like for like. Well, I say I like for like. If Richardson's going to stick to the system he is now, then we need more centre halves. We need more attacking midfielders, and we need another striker. If we stick to the same system, but I don't think you'll want to. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I don't. Are you guys happy with this? Matt, pronounce his name, please, for me.
The Rinomhota.
Yeah, it's just that one.
Him.
I think it's Rinomhota.
Rinomhota. Yeah, if he comes in, are you guys happy with that? It sounds like it's kind of there because he's a defensive midfielder who hasn't got into Cardiff's team really.
He's played a lot in Championship, 167 appearances in the Championship, so he's got the know-how.
Yeah.
It's not sexy, it's not exciting. Is it what you need when you've got Teehee playing there? And
that's exactly what I think.
You're going to keep Jamie Lindsay. Do you need him there? I'm not sure it's what we're crying out for, but it's a bit more know-how. We've got a lot of know-how in this team, haven't we? That know-how isn't the issue, is it? I suppose.
No.
The issue is that we haven't got the players that are staying fit to start with, and the drive forward. I don't see him. I don't see him as a driving forward kind of guy.
No, agreed. It's a very. If it does, he can come in and be a fantastic player. He may be a fantastic player, but I am not excited about him coming in if he does end up coming in, simply because of the style of player he is, not how he plays or anything like that. The style of player he is, just because he's not what we need. We have an abundance of central midfielders all doing the same job. The only midfielder that you'd argue does a different job out of Dauphin, Clucas, Cafu, Lindsay, Rathbone, Thierry, 6 midfielders who are all fit The only one that you'd argue does a different job is Cafu, and we don't have
Yeah.
anything else. We just have 5 other players who do that, who are just energy players. If we bring in another energy player to that, is it really gonna do anything for us? I don't know. I'm not entirely convinced about this Rinomhota guy.
Ryan Thomas says he's not a defensive midfielder. He's more box similar to Klukas, but more energy. Which
similar,
Tom.
yeah, similar to Klukas, similar to Rathbone, similar to Lindsay. It's a similar, like Neil's just put in Harvey Nibbs from Reading. Absolutely, an attacking midfielder who gets in on goals, gets assists, doesn't need to track back as much. Absolutely perfect for me. I think that is someone that we should be looking for. Probably won't get him, but that's the essence of where we need to go. I mean, who else? Like I said earlier, that Owen Moxon guy would have been perfect. Even someone, and I know this is going to sound really stupid, but Joe Hugel that went to Burton.
Yes, that's right.
Young bags them for United under 21s or whatever. Maybe really not that good, but how good would the jokes have been if we had 2 Hugels playing up front? Club spirit's back up. Everyone's making memes and whatnot. The RUFC's having a field day. That account is having an absolute field day. And I think it just brings a bit more oomph back to it, and it gives a young player a chance to play well. And he scored 2 in his first 3 for Burton. He's not a bad player, it seems, but that's the kind of. Why don't we go and get Noah Emran? Does anyone remember him?
Ooh.
No,
I don't know. You're just making names up now as you go along.
No. Watch. Summer transfer window. We were linked with a Man United winger called Noah Emran, French guy at 19.
Yes.
Rapid.
Yeah.
Where did he go? Huh?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't have to spell his name to Google him either.
Oh, right, there we go. See, what a player like that as well would be a quick, exciting 19. He plays for. I can't believe I got his name actually right. Emran, yeah. Noam Emran. Yes.
I think the biggest surprise for transfer deadline day has got to be Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari. Just saying.
This is a football podcast, Michael.
Yeah, but we're completely out of football content now.
I've nibbled significantly.
Yeah, start your own F1 podcast, Mick. If people like Mick whinging about things, you would love Mick on an F1 podcast. So much.
Yeah, as long as you're not a Red Bull fan. If you're a Red Bull fan, I won't watch it.
No, if you're a Red Bull fan, I recommend you do watch it because you'll just love it. You love him crying about Max winning every week. While we're not on football stuff, we should give a shout out to the ratings as well. Rotherham Band going for #1 album tomorrow. I think you still download their album if you want to try and help them get to #1. I've been a couple of times to the shop. My little girl was desperate to buy a bucket hat, ratings bucket hat, and she looks amazing in it. It just looks great. It looks great. So do go and support the ratings. If you haven't got tickets for Clifton Park, go get tickets for Clifton Park because it's going to be a great concert. That's Rotherham stuff. It's Rotherham related. It's more Rotherham related than Lewis Hamilton.
Do you want to know how many passes the Southampton centre-half made against Watford last game they played? 121. Oh, wait, that could have been a really good guessing game. How many passes do you reckon they made as an entire team?
As a tiny team, in one game, it's going to be 600
in one
plus.
Game. If that's your guess, go for it. What are you saying?
6-2-1.
6-2-1, Mick?
I would go for 703.
703, Danny?
I'm being honest, lads, I was on my phone checking the transfer update, so what we on about?
Don't tell him.
Just guess a number. Yeah.
Guess a number. All right, 7.
Oh, Danny wins. No, I'm kidding. They made 660 passes, and their centre half, Taylor Harwood-Bellis made 121, and Jack Stevens made 138. So that goes to show how much.
I was quite close with 7 then, right? So
yeah.
If anyone cares, I just thought we'll fill it. We've still got another hour.
Less than that one. 54 minutes.
Oh, come off it. The same thing.
Mike the Miller wants the lilt tonight. Says F1 talk now. Break out the lilt again.
Well, yeah, at least I directed it back to football.
Did appreciate it, Tom.
Speaking of F1, have you seen the Hamilton sign for Ferrari?
That was the. You just missed it. For God's sake!
We've done that.
Tell me more, Donny.
Nah, the joke's done now. The joke's done.
Right.
There's not a lot else going off either.
Bruce Fury says ratings are not from Rotherham. The lead singers are big. Yeah, they're from Rotherham. They might be Wednesday fans, still from Rotherham.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They're from in between, aren't they? They're from.
There's 3 of them from Rotherham. One's from Donny.
Oh, there we go. Never mind.
So, yeah.
I don't know nothing.
So, from a Rotherham perspective, they're the in-betweeners. But sorry.
Yeah, but you better log off now.
Yeah,
Please, I can't do this for another 50 minutes.
JB, Mick, this is a managed decline. Tony knows we will never sustain Championship football. Liam Richardson is going to be the equivalent of Jim McGuigan. We are going to be comfort in League One until a new owner comes in. We are a League One club, realistically, if you think about it. We've got the budget of probably a League One club. The facilities behind the scene are not Championship standard. They're probably League One. We're probably punching above our weight, and this is not what we want to hear. I don't really want to be saying this. I'd love to say, oh, this is great. We're going to be a Championship club for me and whatever, but this is where we are until either a new owner comes in or something else happens. This is where we are. High end League One, low Championship. It's a frustrating, but it's where we are.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I accepted that many years ago. Well, I didn't accept it many years ago, actually, because many years ago I'd accepted we were a League Two club because that's where we were for a long period of time. And then we progressed a little bit and we became a League One club. And then we progressed a bit and we became a League One / Championship club. So, you know, we've gone forwards since the bad times, and we've continued to go forwards. We keep stumbling backwards as well. But you know, you've got to have some ambition. You've got to have some sort of ambition to be at a higher level. Tony Stewart has got that ambition. Whether the ability to match that ambition is there within the club at the moment is another question, isn't it? And I think probably the question over the last few seasons has been answered in the sense that we haven't quite got it right, but they're still working at it. And during the time that they're working at it, we're having some bad times, but we're having some amazing times as well. You know, all these promotions, you know, the Wembley wins. It's dead easy when things are going well. Forget all about that and just say, you know, we've got no ambition, we've got this, we've got the other. It's football, you know. It is what football is, and if you don't want that with your club, then you need to support a club that's not going to give you that. You know, you need to support your Man Cities, your Arsenals, your Liverpools, or whatever it is. You have to take, as a football supporter, the rough with the smooth. That's the nature of it, and I really struggle with all the criticism of Tony Stewart. I really do, and I understand it. There's this sort of knee-jerk reaction of us going down and not particularly not spending like we've got multi millions because we haven't, and watching other clubs go under because they're spending multi-millions on wages way above what their income is, watching them go under, and then still wanting our chairman to do something similar or put his life, his full net worth into the club just for my entertainment. I think you know, Tony Stewart's a successful businessman. He's brought the club back into the town. He's given us however many promotions since 2012 and some relegations as well. They've made some mistakes along the way. They continue to make mistakes along the way. That's the nature of a business. That's the nature of the world, isn't it? But I wouldn't swap it. I wouldn't swap it for the world. And God only knows who you're going to bring in as an owner. who knows? Because football is not awash with responsible owners. It's awash with quite the opposite. So, listen, I fully accept and respect people's views, and you know, but my view is that at the moment he is the only person that's keeping us afloat. So I don't know.
Well, no, I agree.
The bottom line is you take the rough with the smooth. If you don't like it, get out.
There were some people suggesting that if they're going to get rid of their season ticket, we don't support as clubs because they sign great players. We support football clubs because you supported them for 20 years, because you love them, because whatever. You're not going to stop supporting a football club because they have a bad transfer window, a bad season. That's just mind-blowing.
Can I also say as well, like Wigan and Reading, take them two, and Derby to a certain extent, take them to a point and look at what they are doing now and how in a bad position they are, and then compare yourself to Championship clubs at the minute. Adam Wharton, who may be a fantastic player, has just gone for 22 million, a 20-year-old through the Academy of Blackburn. If we had Ben Wiles come through and was half as good as that, we are not selling him for half that price. Not in the slightest. We are selling him for what we did sell him for. And you look at Morgan Rogers, who was on loan at Blackpool last season, didn't set the world alight, went to Borough, again, did not set the world alight. I think he had 6 assists and 2 goals in half a season with a good Borough side in a starring role, and Villa made him their number one priority. It's actually ludicrous to think, and he went for 18 million. It's ludicrous to think of the money getting thrown around compared to what we can actually afford. Even you look at someone like Victor, hypothetically, he is a never mind. Hypothetically, he is. I heard a notification. Hypothetically, Victor.
We've all got notifications.
I know.
Now, haven't we?
It was just the United 4-3 against Wolves, which is pretty bizarre. Matt's eyes have just lit up.
I was just seeing a Cardiff podcast tweet about it being the longest medical in history for Rinomhota.
Yeah.
Just going back. Sorry, Tom. Talking about finances, and Craig there in the comments talking about Preston built very well from nothing, and we could do the same. Preston are paying 139% of their income on wages, and have lost 81 million over recent years. So I don't call that building. I don't call that building.
They built from nothing, but then I think to sustain, I think is a better way. To sustain,
you know, and this is where we are. So there are so many clubs in that position, and unless you get somebody who's going to bankroll your club, not invest in it, they're going to bankroll it in the hope that they're going to get to the Premier League and then take all the money like Sheffield United's owners have. Why I don't want to get into that. You know, I don't want that to be a part of my football club. I'll settle for going up and down. I will, because every other year we'll have a party.
Well, what I was going on with the prices is you look at Blackburn have got 22 million for Wharton. Borough had 18 million for Rogers. Both of them cost nothing for them to get. So that's a net spend of 22 million and 20 million that they have just got from nothing. They've got 20 million just to spend like that.
Well, Blackburn's a bit complicated, isn't it? Because of their Indian owners. They're having serious issues. They're not technically, but they're de facto owned by the Indian government, Blackburn.
What the hell? What?
There's some serious restrictions on money coming out of India because they're owned by Venki's, aren't they, Blackburn? It was the Indian company. And basically the Indian government are running things at Blackburn, basically. So it's very, very... They could be an admin in a year or so's time if they don't sort themselves out, Blackburn. But your point is right.
Flip that. We'll come back to that in a year's time. Flip that.
But if it weren't for the Indian government putting restrictions on tax things, then Tom's point is absolutely right. It's just because of the Indian government. Sorry, Tom.
No, it's fine. I was just saying that you look at the prices that some teams are getting for some players. I reckon even Plymouth and Morgan Whitaker, right? $1 million spent on him, probably 15, 20, keep him till summer, potentially even 25 million out for him. He's a fantastic footballer. You are getting a serious bonus from him. This is the profile that we need now.
Yeah.
And we haven't done it well. Nombe for $1 million. Maybe we'll sell him for 3. It's not the sort of return that you'd want because you'd end up making a loss overall. Tiehi, I can see us making a decent profit on. He's the only one in the squad, though, unfortunately. Balasa could have, Ogbeni could have. We really screwed up with them too, and that's where the philosophy came in, that we needed a better business behind it. So yeah, you argue that you want better owners, you want better. I don't think the owner's the issue. I think Stuart's putting in as much money as he physically can, whilst not driving the money into admin. And I think it's the people around him that need to be better. Whether it's getting new people in or if they just need to be better, i.e. Scott being appointed as a new role, or just changing it up a little bit. Who the hell knows? It will be it's a tough ask for anyone, but it's the staff more than the chairman. Chairman shouldn't have much say in it, in all honesty. They really shouldn't. But if you look at Chio now, we sell him for 5 million to Luton, and with a 20% sell-on clause, we could get 10 million, 15 million for him overall, which is a shame, real shame that he. But again, no fault of his, all fault of ours, no fault of his.
Yeah, I agree. We need to be smart. I think that's what Craig put here. We don't learn from our mistakes. That's the thing. We shouldn't keep making. And that's right. You mentioned the Chio thing, Barlasa thing, Matt Crooks thing, where he went for next to nothing to what his actual value was. Will Volks was probably the last guy we got value for, and I think around £2 million. That's the last time we had any sort of value for any sort of player. And how long ago was that? That was 2017, right? 2017, 2018, something like that. Ian Bradley says, I've just gone off it, Ian. Sorry, where's your comment gone? It's coming. Hang on. Ian Bradley, agree with Mick. I can't see any Saudi billionaires or Hollywood A-listers hanging around. Can you? I'd rather have a club to support. Thank you. Yeah. Semi. Mark Gamble, Semi as well. God, yeah. God, Semi and Chai. Yeah, pulled that out. Exactly.
It's an outrageous goal from Kobe Mainu, by the way, to win it, if anyone has a chance to see it. Outrageous. Now if we would have bought him, no, obviously not.
Somebody else has left Reading. Reading have sold somebody else. Somebody else to a Premier League club. Absolute fire sale. I don't think we'll be visiting Reading next season.
Which is a shame. A shame for them.
Yeah, it is. But it's the risk of shooting for the stars. In football, if you shoot for the stars, you will end up in the gutter. There's not if you shoot stars, it's all right, you'll still land on your feet. That doesn't happen in football, does it? If you miss when you're shooting for the stars, well, you're going to be anything League Two, aren't you? Basically. Harry says, Scott High, anyone? Can we fancy Scott High? I think what we haven't mentioned is Huddersfield. And that brings me on to Huddersfield. There's something we haven't mentioned. Darren Moore's just been sacked from Huddersfield. This plays into the relegation fight, Danny, because Huddersfield are the team we're chasing. They're going to win. They're 9 points clear. Is that good news that Darren Moore's left? Do you think that it'll unsettle them, or do you think it's good news because maybe Darren Moore wasn't the guy?
I think the timing seems very, very weird to sack Darren Moore, because if you were to do anything of that magnitude, you'd do it before the January window, because then a new manager could come in, settle the squad that he's got currently, and then add any additions that he's got lined up to help improve the squad in January. But, it gave them vast majority of the window. All right, fair enough, we've not signed anyone yet either, but it gives such a narrow margin for any new managers to come in and try and improve the squad themselves, because I don't think they've announced a new manager yet, have they? No, so there's nothing that Huddersfield can do this window. So if a new manager comes in February, March, whenever, if it was our time scale, it'd probably be June, knowing us. But with Huddersfield, it'll end up being end of this month. They can legit do nothing to make the squad their own, other than try and work with the squad that they've already got, which for Huddersfield could be make or break. To be fair, if they can't get a tune out of the current squad, they could get dragged into relegation fight and potentially bring out one of the teams that's in the bottom three at the minute. But at the same time, a new manager could come in, get a tune out of them, and they could go up and up the league. I don't know if they've got the sights set on Neil Warnock again.
It's been there was a big falling out within the chairman, so I don't think it'll be.
Yeah, so I don't know, but it's very strange timing. Like, I know we said Terrell to Paul Warne at a strange time, but he gave a transfer window. Same with Matt Taylor, we had a transfer window with him, and now Liam Richards had a chance to have a transfer window. As it stands at 10:20, we've signed nobody, but we can live in hope. But with Darren Moore, the club's got no chance to strengthen or release players at all in any regard. So it's a very strange timing. But Huddersfield's board is a little bit iffy with decision making at the minute. It's either a snap decision or no decision at all. Is what I've sort of picked up on in recent years as well. So yeah, it's just odd. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, I think it is odd, but I agree. I think he wasn't the right man anyway. AJ says bad news. Moore wasn't the guy. I go on another show with the Yorkshire podcast thing, and there's a Huddersfield guy there, and they never talk to him. They never talk to Darren Moore, and I get that. You know, when we listen to all his interviews on Radio Sheffield, I'm sure behind the camera he's a really nice and interesting guy, but he was the dullest guy to listen to in interviews ever. And I know Liam Richards is not the most exciting guy, but Darren Moore just seems to lack anything. And if as a fan base, you've got to connect to that a little bit, and I don't think Huddersfield fans ever did. And their chairman's a bit of a madman.
With the greatest of respect, they're not employed as PR people or there to create relationships with the press or anybody other than the players, are they? You know,
no, but you've got to have something, especially when you're falling hard times and have poor set of results. You've got not to fall back on. You've got no support to fall back on, have you?
No, you haven't, and I get where you're coming from, and I understand all that, but if you can't string three words together, but are an amazing coach,
yeah,
and that doesn't apply. Neither of those apply to Darren Moore. Neither of those comments, but yeah, Huddersfield seemed to me to be owned by somebody who genuinely doesn't really know what they're doing. That's how it feels from the outside, and I'm only, I have no basis for that whatsoever. But the managerial appointment, a knee jerk, the Warnock one, clearly a knee jerk reaction. Oh, well, we're getting a Warnock because he's a champion. They've sacked Darren Moore after a short space of time. It all seems a bit bizarre up there, and certainly not what I would want from the owner of my football club. But having said that, they stayed in Championship, so is it worth it? I don't know.
Theo says, why we talk about Darren Moore? Come on, get a grip. Well, we've got. I don't know if you see the transfer business that Rotherham have done so far. That's why.
Let me just check my notes. Bugger all. That's what's happening.
Mark Gabble says, I think we'd be dull having to speak about them every week. Fair. Every club, Sean says every club has improved at the bottom since getting a new manager. Unluckily for us, Huddersfield might improve without one. Yeah. Ian Bradley says Lindsay actually officially gone. No, Jimmy Lindsay has not gone as things stand. Jimmy Lindsay is a Rotherham United player.
Got a tweet here from Nathan Salt, who's a writer for Mail Sport, who likes to cover Wrexham by the looks of it. And he's basically 40 minutes early and said that Wrexham's pursuit of Jamie Lindsay has reached a dead end. Wrexham and Rotherham are at odds on the fee for a player that's available for nothing in 6 months, which is exactly what I've said. So I'd like credibility for that, please, Nathan. Thank you. And so Wrexham's lot for the window looks like Bolton and Marriott. So I think Lindsay's staying a Rotherham player for at least the rest of this season, by the looks of it.
You've got to assume we've got an option in there, because we'd be daft not to take money for him if we can get a replacement in,
If anybody does know, let us know in the comments, because I agree. If we don't have an option, it'd seem a little bit short-sighted. I think it's the best way to
It's
word
a chill
it.
thing again, isn't it? You're going to lose him for no
Yeah.
reason. 3 or 4
Oh yeah,
months.
oh yeah.
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
You know,
We don't know.
if we go down to League One, are we going to lose him because he's going to be a hell of a player in League One? We know that. He's
Is that a contract?
Yeah, to offer him a new one if we're going down.
But if
No, he's
Wrexham
not taking
come
it now.
they can offer him more money in League One. They will be able to offer him.
Well,
Well, it
No,
depends on FFP though, doesn't it, for Wrexham?
Different
Now-
in League
now-
One too.
Yeah, but now they're in EFL, it actually applies to them now.
Yeah, it's different though. I don't know exactly how it works, to be honest with you. But anyway,
No,
we don't know if he's got a sell on. If he's got an extension clause, this is irrelevant. Then it because he's here anyway.
Well,
Which-
unless they came in and offered something like 200k, and we've just laughed at it and gone, no, you're either spending 600k or nothing.
Mm.
well, this is the thing, isn't it?
He's not going to
you know,
sign for us again. I can't see that happening.
No, possibly not. But we don't know what they've offered, do we?
No.
You know, and it may not be nowhere near. You know, and then they offer 200, and we go, oh, all right then, and then all of a sudden we're bad ones for just taking 200k. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Look, we don't know. We don't know, and we'll never know.
I think the fact that it was even up for discussion says a lot. I think the fact that we even thought about it means that he's not in our plans next season.
Possibly.
Potentially, yeah, but it depends whether he's got an extension for another year, doesn't it? So,
Depends
Yeah.
on it. I'd be more worried about getting players like Hacks tied down.
Well, yeah, Hacks is out of contract, but again, we don't know. We know the only one we know he's got that has an extension clause is Rathbone. That's the only one we know for a fact. But a lot of these were signed when Warney was in charge, and a lot of the players that when Warney signed, a lot of them had extension clauses, 1-year extension clauses. Chio as a prime example, another one. Victor, I think, again had one when we went up. I think we did that as well. So there could very well be an option for Jimmy Lindsay. If there is, then don't worry about it, because if they get promoted, they'll have more money, so they can spend more money in the summer. So don't worry, I won't worry about that too much. So the comments. Neil Bolton told you yesterday payment terms. Promised payment terms, not the fee. We'll have to wait. We don't know. We don't know. And again, we'll never know because they never share these kind of information with us, sadly. How long we got? 32 minutes, guys. 32 minutes and no signings. The Sheffield Wednesday have signed somebody, as somebody mentioned. Again, mentioning the people that are rivals with us. Because that's probably not related. Sheffield Wednesday, Ian Pervada, a very, very tricky player. I think it was at Arsenal. I think he's been at Barcelona. I think he's been at a few other places. Never quite hit the heights. So
He's a perfect Chef Wednesday player then.
He does. Yeah.
Who's this? Pavida?
Pervada, I think. He was
He was at Blackpool last season.
He was at Blackpool last season. He played against us and did nothing.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, he was at Barca. What the hell?
Yeah. I think he's one. That's Colombian. I think he's one of those that on the ball is like brilliant, but everything else is bad.
Who knows? He was called up to the Colombian. Yeah, he played for Colombia in the latest international. Fair enough.
Holly says she's not going to stand for this Jamie Lindsay hate. Jamie Lindsay's biggest fan, hearing all the hate. We're not hating on Jamie Lindsay. We love Jamie Lindsay.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
D. White says, I listen to you a lot, and it's exactly why we are going down. 16 and 18 million players are going for this league, and we're talking about 200 grand. I don't want to be too. I'm not on the panel or thing that decide on transfer fees. Mick looks like he could be. Are you on the committee, Mick? Time's come off. Is it going to end at meeting?
I understand all them words, but not necessarily in that order.
I think what they're getting at is, as I mentioned, 200k. If Wrexham came in and offered 200k for Lindsay, which I said we shouldn't accept, which he might have gotten crossed, or they might have gotten crossed as a let's accept it, but I actually meant let's not. So,
well, yeah.
And when you're looking at 16 million pound players, do we have anyone in the squad that's worth 16 million? And then you look at it and you think, nah. And then talking about 200k makes a bit more of a difference, because when you look at like I mentioned as a thing before, you may not have been here, Mr. Whitehouse, about Victor going for 15 million, and I said if that offer comes in now, would we take it? And yes, we would, absolutely.
Of
Those are the
course
sort
we
of
would, yeah,
figures
yeah.
that we're taking.
We've got half an hour to accept it, to be fair, but
Yeah. So that's what I'd personally say is that
Yeah,
we do talk about the big figures, but only when it's reasonable.
Clearly, the plan of this club has been to try and sell players on, and to bring them in cheap, sell them on more expensively, and that's not worked out. That's not worked out through whatever reason, whether it be poor management, which poor contract management, which is obviously Chio and the likes, Dan Barlasser to a degree. That's obviously been the plan, and it's not worked. Whether that will change now, Rob Scott has taken on a different role. We'll have to wait and see. But we ain't selling anybody for that amount of money, are we?
No, and I think the only reason why someone like Morgan Rogers came in and left for 16 million was because Aston Villa said he is our number one priority. And if you've just signed the man, you've got him on a 3-year deal, and he is 21, I think he is 22 maybe. Then you hit a point where it's like, right, Aston Villa want him. They've made it clear that he's our number one. They've come in for 10 million. Nah, no way. We know that you have more money than that. Let's up it to 15. No, sorry. Well, they would have said, let's up it to 20. And then Villa would have come back and said, no, okay, let's be reasonable here, 13, whatever. And you come to a price. It's negotiation. If a deal comes in for us and for Victor, who's got 1 year left on his deal, and who is arguably our best player, let's just remember that. He is arguably their best player. Victor's a little bit older, but a goalkeeper, so there's a bit more longevity there. A team comes in for him, say Sheffield United, who are known to need a keeper. They come in and say, look, we'll give you 3 million for him. We say, no, that's laughable. Let's go with 10. And they say, well, he's only got a year left. So you either take 5 million now, or we'll just tell him that we're interested and we'll take him in a year for free. And we have an idea. Is he worth 5 million or is he worth keeping on? And with Ogbeni, with Barlasser, our thinking behind it was Ogbeni will make us potentially a club offer 3 million for him, for example. And we thought, well, if Chio stays with us and keeps us up, we get 5 million from the thing. That's a £2 million difference. We're gonna keep him. We're gonna risk it, and that's fine if you look at it like that. And that's what a lot of football teams do, especially of our kind of, attitude. Whereas now, if a club comes in and says, look, we're going to get Victor for 5 million, or we're going to buy him in the summer for 2, it's up to you. And we'll probably say, well, we'll take him for 5. And then all our fans are going, well, why did we sell him for 5 million? We could have gotten 15 for him. And you think, well, under the circumstances, could you have? It's tough. I'm not a football man. I'm not a businessman. I'm not anything of the sort. Maybe you could get more. Maybe you could get less. But you've got to take in all factors. You've got to take in how much does the club need the player? How much does the player need the club? How much does the player have left on the deal? How much does the club have to lose? How much is the club willing to sell? And it's mental. It's a difficult business. It's not just Football Manager where a team puts in a price. No, we actually think he's this much, and then they go, oh, all right then, and the computer goes, oh, okay. And fabricate. It's tough.
John says the only thing in the room is you have to have wealthy owners to survive in this league. You might get away with it for a season or two, but eventually money talks. Sadly, it does, and we're limited.
No, disagree. Luton don't have wealthy owners, do they?
They don't, but they put some money in, and they're putting a lot of money into this new stadium that they're building as well.
Right. Okay. Maybe I do agree then.
So it's not crazy money. It's sensible money compared to other teams.
And it will be Premier League money that they're putting
now.
in.
Oh, it will. They'll be set. They'll be absolutely set. Parachute payments, all of that. They'll be set.
Yeah. They have done it. The bottom line is that they have done it on a tight budget. Probably not as tight as ours, but certainly on a tight budget. Brentford did it slightly differently by increasing their budget by bringing on players, selling them on for a profit. So that it was their contract negotiations and dealing with contracts that got them where they are. But again, they did it initially on a budget. It can be done, but I don't think that we've fully grasped which route we want to take yet. Our board haven't. I might be wrong. That's how it feels. And the constant yo-yoing between divisions suggests that is the case. We'll have to wait and see. And also the running down of contracts.
Yeah. Freeze and Furious says, I've got a theory that Sam Todd has had all this stick this week, and what's better that players are lined up and completed and signed at 10:59. Yeah, I'd do that. That's the kind of petty behaviour I could get on board with.
I'm guessing it'd be hilarious as well. You'd hear the
10:59.
Yeah, you'd hear the collective population of Rotherham's head just go. 4 players get allowed, all lined up in a row at like 11:15. That'd be hilarious.
Danny, I've asked you this question twice. I'm going to ask you a third time because we're now 23 minutes to the deadline. If we don't sign anybody, and we're probably going to, but we are in a situation even more now where we might not sign anybody. It's a disaster if we don't sign anybody, isn't it? Bear in mind the outgoings as well.
Well, you know me, I'm the eternal optimist, but the fact that Ferrari have signed somebody before we have this transfer window, it has really made me question it. Like, I know there's a lot of factors at play this transfer window, but there was a steady tick over of things happening whilst I was at work, and it kept coming through, obviously on Sky Sports and stuff. But the fact that we got suddenly 5, 6, 7-ish rumours all at once today, it sort of made you swing between, is it because we've got no leaks going out, or is it because we've just not done anything? And I think the answer is we'll never truly know, because we may well have been whittling away at some things, and the factors that are at play this window have made it so that we haven't been able to pursue them properly. I think before it was announced that Georgie left, I would have said it's not the end of the world, right? But the fact that we've let a player who can change a game and has proved that he can change a game when he comes on at times go on a permanent and not a loan, it's a bit of a, maybe it's not quite as secure as I thought it was. But I'm still adamant that the main positive from this window is that Victor hasn't gone, because he's another game changer in the squad. If Victor would have gone, again, no disrespect to Dylan Phillips or Nat Ford, then the goal would have been a lot more undefended. And I think that's the main positive we can sort of unearth from this window, is that Victor hasn't gone, because he will be crucial in at least putting up a fight for relegation this season. But as it's ticked on, I've sort of progressed more and more to say, and I've taken in people's opinions from Twitter and in the comments and everything, and it's just like, yeah, it's not been a good one, because we'd signed Matt Crooks before 10 o'clock in that one window where we signed one player, and now it's just like, you know, unless we get, like I said before, 4 players lined up, then it's a bit, you know, it's just a meh. It's just a meh day so far. That's the best way to describe it. It's a meh day and just a meh.
If we just get a fullback in, I think that's still bad, because you're still low on numbers.
Well, how many players have gone out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think if we get net, then 3. I think if we don't sign 3, I think it's been an unsuccessful window, no matter the players, just because of how many we've let out and how many we've not let come in.
Yeah. Midfield, Mick.
So you don't have to announce them tonight.
You've got 20 minutes until we make no signings.
Yeah, I mean, as we said, there's the sheet. The sheet's got a name on it, where you can submit a sheet to the FA and get an extension.
No, I mean, they can sign tonight. We don't have to tell anybody we've signed them.
Do we have to submit an extension to anybody about carrying on?
Can I go to bed?
I want to go to bed.
Things should be about to get very interesting in the next 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Deal sheet. Tom Kidd, thank you very much, Tom. Tom's been watching some Sky Sports News on a Dalmay Chef or whatever it's called, constantly telling us about deal sheets on Sky Sports News. There you go. So that can be extended. D. White has come with the play. He thinks there'll be 3 in over there against Southampton. That's One more than we were expecting.
Watch it be none of the three that have been mentioned at all.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, to be fair, the tweet from the club did say that they'd be going right down to deadline, didn't they?
Well, that's 11, right? So
Yeah.
Well,
like you said, what's the deal sheet then? Is that until when? 12?
It could be out past.
We've seen in the past, not from us, but we've seen deals completely the day after.
Yeah.
With the deal sheet. So.
We're not doing a live stream through the night. I don't have enough tea bags to get us through the night.
You can do it, but I just won't be here.
Loan market, just to confirm, Nick Carrot says, if we look at the loan market stays open, it does not know. The loan window slams shuts, correction, Nick. The free transfer window remains wide open. Is that the opposite? What's the opposite of slam shut?
Closes gently.
No, because it's still going to stay open to be opposite.
It's going to be wide open, isn't it?
Be wide open, yeah.
It doesn't sound very journalistic. That does it wide open. It's not nowhere near exaggerated enough.
Oh, no way of this.
Oh, you right. I'm going down to New York Stadium. I'm slapping somebody. It's brilliant but annoying at the same time.
If they've got WhatsApp, if they've got the WhatsApp thing and there's 4 numbers in there.
I am a massive fan of Sam Todd. Absolutely huge fan.
They're gonna announce it on this WhatsApp thing, aren't they?
I'll be honest with you. After all the grief he's had this week, I do not blame him. It'd be fantastic to find out that all these players had signed by 4:00 this afternoon.
I have got the WhatsApp chat open now, by the way. I am ready for this.
Right, you'll get the WhatsApp chat open, Danny. I'll get Twitter open.
Yeah.
There's no way that they've done that.
We'll cover the bases. I just want to see Andy Rinomhota has been added to this chat or whatever it comes up as.
Well, it's going to be in it. This is horrid. How can they do this?
Big fan. Huge fan.
Well,
wait.
Andy Rinomhota having his longest medical in human history.
So what?
The first picture that's in the WhatsApp group is a picture of Lindsay, Hugo.
Oh, come off it! That's not going to be anything, is it?
And a couple of the players.
Right.
Who are in the group chat.
Lindsay, Hugo, Bramwell. I think that's Revan.
Yeah, I think it is Revan. Yeah. So that's proof that Jamie Lindsay isn't going anywhere this transfer window.
That's sort of confirmation of that one.
Yeah.
What I never knew this was a thing on WhatsApp.
I didn't know this was a thing.
Neither do I.
No, you know what? Fair play. They've done quite. I mean, if this is all that comes out of transfer deadline day, then I'm gonna absolutely blow my head off.
It's really left out. She can't open it. Daniel, keep you updated. Don't worry about it.
You have to press follow at the top of the screen when you open it on WhatsApp, and then you can view everything that's open in it.
You know, Mick, we said earlier about this transfer window being the quietest it's ever been. I'm looking at a lot of other clubs. This last day has been as busy as it's ever been in a long time. This final day, there's been so many deals today. Absolutely.
Up until today, it's been absolutely dead, and it was always going to be a busy day today, weren't it? As dominoes started to fall, but again, we're bottom of that chain.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, we've got a message from Sean Morrison in the WhatsApp group.
Hang on.
Just so Shelley's aware, Shelley didn't know what's happened. Can you fill us in what's happened? The club have tweeted out.
It's a nothing. It's just Sean Morrison welcoming us all.
Well, it just says you can find anything from starting 11 to team news on here.
Team news, ooh, teaser.
No, come on. I mean, it's an effective way of communicating with the fans. I guess it's just a shame you can't communicate back. I mean, it would be a hellhole if.
That's a good idea. That's a really
good idea. But you can't do anything with it though. Is the thing.
You can put emotions, the laughing face and stuff.
True.
Oh, I never trust this one.
It's an accurate way to get feedback without actually having any abusive comments, which you quite like.
Genius is what it is.
Sean Morrison's, that's about it though. Oh, here we go.
There we go. Andy Rinomhota has signed a loan deal from now until the end of the season. That's it in terms of there's no further information. What more information do you want? I suppose.
I know it's come up on Twitter.
Now come with Twitter as well. Nope.
Yeah.
Can't give you any more information about Rinomhota. We have seen him play, obviously, a few times for Cardiff, and probably we saw him for Reading, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But
Rinomhota is a Zimbabwe international. Apparently, he's played one international for Zimbabwe. 26.
was that in AFCON?
No, because he's not been selected for current crop. He's just made one international appearance for him. He's a midfielder. Which is an interesting one. 26, and yeah, on loan from Cardiff. Happy days. Well, at least we made one signing this window. It's better than nothing, I suppose.
Yeah.
Don't be too excited.
What?
I said, don't
Paul
get too
Davis is
excited.
apparently saying to expect another. I should have had Paul Davis's notification on by now, shouldn't I? That would have helped the situation.
One would assume that the next one's going to be the lad from Sheffield United.
Yeah. Can I be honest? Not entirely happy.
We need somebody for at top end at pitch.
We need more.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
Yeah. While we digest that, I'm going to give it another plea to make sure you do all subscribe to YouTube. We've done 2 3/4 hours so far. I was trying to convince Mick and Danny to do a 12-hour podcast again at some point for charity. Tired already. Boys.
You're having second thoughts now, aren't you?
What I think we should do instead is like try to break a world record or something.
Yeah, you could try that. Yeah.
We'll try that instead. We'll get on that. Miller's not happy. Miller's fed up with the club. Shelley's right. It's not really what we need. No, it isn't, but there's still time. 12 minutes, 50 seconds until the slamming of the window.
Or possibly an extension.
Or possibly a deal sheet. Yeah. I think we're probably staying on no later than 10 minutes after the deadline, just to allow time. It's not done in 10 minutes. It's not what we've done tonight, is it?
No, you would have thought so. And unlikely to be announced tonight. You would have thought. But who knows?
So Andy Giddins has just tweeted with more to follow.
Oh.
Now, again, what that suggests is not singular, does it? And there's no clause in there, but it doesn't suggest singular, does it?
No, it doesn't.
No.
Because it would say loads to follow, wouldn't it?
Didn't we try to sign Rinomhota in the summer under Matt Taylor?
Yeah, well, Paul Davis's tweet just came up and said second time. And I thought, oh, second. It weren't. It was just... Got a bit giddy.
So who signed him in the summer?
We tried to sign him before.
All right. Sorry, I'm with you. I thought you said
which makes sense.
We'd signed him in the summer. I don't remember that. I must have been asleep for that particular one.
Yeah, he is... I don't know. Can't have put a tweet out saying thank you for everything. So Jan Bibber sent us a tenner. Thank you very much, Jan Bibber. You're a legend.
Oh, thank you.
He's on Twitter. If you don't follow Andy Rinomhota, he's on Twitter. We're already following him. Thank you. So yeah, go on, announce somebody.
Do something.
It's got to the point where we just got to poke it with a stick now, and it's just like, come on, do something.
So it's got to 12 minutes before the end of the transfer window, and Matt's now resorting to announce somebody. That's where it's come to, is it?
Yes, it is. I started some comments. Sam Darby, Sam Jimmy is leaving us for a free no.
Well, he might do, but as it stands, we don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, he may.
Ian Bradley put one statement: why would you chuck money at a lost cause? I think that's fair, though. Might run out of time to talk about that tonight, Ian, but that's a field question.
That's one for end of
People
season.
are not happy. Miller's deflated. John S says he doesn't care anymore. CJ with a bit of positive. 10 minutes, lads. Victor's still here.
Mm-hmm.
I can open the final window on my Victor Advent calendar. 11 o'clock. And there'll be beer behind it and hope for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like to echo the feeling of deflation now that it's just like one sign. It took us until 15 minutes before the window shuts. You would have thought with at least some sort of desire to stay up, something may have been done like a day or two before the window shuts.
You don't know what's happening elsewhere, though, Daniel. Here, and
that's true. I mean, I am talking in the sense of an ideal world, anyway, and I think that's why it's a bit deflating. You know,
in an ideal world, Cam Humphries and wouldn't have got injured, would he? You know, and that would have changed our season. Those two injuries, those two centre back injuries, were the catalyst for where we are now, in my view. So you know, and yeah, it's not great, but there's been no movement this transfer window right up until today for virtually anybody. And that means that all the deals, any deal that's going to be struck, has to be done in one day. You know, all the negotiations, the contract negotiations, the wage negotiations, the medicals, all that stuff is all going to be done in the space of 12 hours or whatever it is, 15 hours. You know, it's just not. Yeah, it's not great, and it's not being. There will be supporters up and down the country having exactly the same conversations for 50-60% of the clubs that are in the league. You know, just you know, you scroll through social media, and it's not just our club that are having exactly the same conversations. You know, club's a joke, and all this sort of stuff. It's virtually everyone in it.
Yeah, well, you've got Swansea have just signed a player 6 minutes ago. Norwich have just signed a player 2 minutes ago. Going to League One, Fleetwood have signed a player 51 minutes ago. Cardiff signed obviously a player about an hour ago as well. So there's the signings all over at Shop. There is a lot of it's again, to use a Sky Sports term, there's a flurry of activity.
Crystal Mara. No, sorry.
That Plaqueta, you know that Plaqueta we were linked with from Norwich?
Yes.
He's gone to Swansea.
Right.
So he's not him. He won't be signing for us.
They didn't rate him though, did they? Norwich fans?
No. Norwich fans weren't exactly complimentary about him, were they?
No.
Spoke of signing somebody 36 minutes ago. The flurry continues.
Where are you reading this? BBC Sports.
Just on Twitter.
Oh, Twitter. Oh, fair.
X.
just the scroll.
Yeah.
Harry Vaughan's gone to Bristol Rovers.
There's some absolute sewage on X, but sometimes
Taylor was after him in the summer, if you remember.
Who was?
Harry Vaughan, Taylor.
Oh, were we? I didn't know that.
The whole winger.
Yeah, I don't recall being linked with him.
Oh, I thought we were. Maybe
Might
I'm
have been.
making things up then.
Dwight Gale's a free agent. Yeah, that's obviously a possibility to come in again. I suspect wages will be a huge problem for something like that.
Yeah,
but you just never know. Nick Leeson 5 out, 1 in. Disaster midfielder that we don't need.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're right. I'm not disagreeing with a lot of the negative comments, to be honest with you, but all we can do is try and be positive. And I know that's much harder to do than it sounds, if that makes sense. We've talked quite a lot today. But you know what I'm trying to say. I hope at this point you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, 7 minutes. Yeah, that was right. 6 minutes. Oh, just under 6 minutes now.
I hope this lad from Cardiff's not watching this or scrolling through social media, because he'll be very underwhelmed about the fact that he's just signed for a club who are going.
Right, come on then. Let's have a minute.
Right, about that, kid.
Everybody, step up. We'll clip this and send it to Andy Rinomhota. Come on. Ready, guys?
Get his name right, and then
we're up on it. We're up on it. Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, Will says Effin Mason Clark confirmed to Coventry. Yeah, again, confirmed in the very last few seconds.
He seems
another
like a
signing in the Championship.
It does make you think how long have they been like confirmed for, and it's took all the social media stuff to get it ready.
If you look,
there is a possibility of that. Yeah, absolutely.
You know his picture where he's in the seats. It looks like that's at night time. So
yeah, what is it? I think it's something.
That's finish time at 6 o'clock these days, though, isn't it?
It might have been earlier today, but it's not saying that it. You know. I don't know. That's an odd signing in my opinion. Not saying it's a bad one. It's just an odd one.
Yeah, we're set for midfielders. What it does suggest, what it does maybe suggest is that Hacks is not a midfielder anymore. So he's replacing Hacks.
Potentially.
In a roundabout way. I don't like that because Hacks is a midfielder. Hacks is a great midfielder, but that's a way to justify it, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe.
Again, it's not particularly interesting, not particularly sexy, but
you've used that word a lot of times.
You were expecting sexy signings, were you? You were expecting big name signings.
I wasn't. No.
Who's the sexiest signing we could have brought in, Matt?
David De Bruyne.
Yeah, you should see our David.
Oh my god!
You watch. It's been a long time since we had an interesting sign. Even Nombe, we signed Nombe, weren't exactly. It was good. It was exciting because we spent £1 million, but it weren't. You know what I mean? Rotherham have never signed players like that. I don't think ever.
Here's a question though. You know when we first signed Adam Le Fondre, who went on to be like the great Rotherham striker that he is now. Was the whole star value player aura when we first signed him, or did that develop over time?
No.
It feels like Rotherham are the sort of team that don't sign the star players straight away. We develop them into the star players.
There was a positive vibe about him because he had a decent record at Rochdale. It wasn't amazing, but I think it was a club record, a joint club record fee. I think at the time of a massive 150k. But he was much better than the anticipation. Much better than the anticipation. I think that's and to be fair, Mick, it was straight away with Alfie. There was no gap with Alfie. It was instantly bloody hell, he's a good player.
Yeah, absolutely. Not the biggest name we've ever signed by any stretch of imagination. That'd be Emily Hughes, wouldn't it? But yeah, he was straight into it. He was the definition of hitting the ground running, weren't he?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if Cardiff might be about to sign somebody. They just put a tweet out Cardiff 18 seconds ago. So again, that might be something else. I obviously just tweeted this about Rinomhota. 167 appearances in the Championship. 3 goals, 9 assists. So not prolific in either of those areas. 20 yellow cards. Not something to get interested about particularly. Either of those. Miller says Alan Lee. Even Alan Lee came from. I was speaking to somebody there. Came from Burnley reserves.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
There was no fanfare about Alan Lee. We only had to pay 150k because he came on loan and were brilliant on loan. That's the reason he wants. Realistically, there was the reason they wanted any money for him. But then back then the loan system was different. I think we loaned him in October or something like that, and signed him. But later on, it was obviously a different loan system. Back then. 1 minute 43 seconds according to my watch, boys.
I bang on that.
Yeah, Paul Davis's tweet was expect another deal. So I suspect that there's going to be one more, and that'll be looking like the lad from Sheffield.
Giddins put. What did Giddins put? The word just made it sound like there was more. It might be wrong. Might be well off.
Yeah.
Bear with Andy Giddins. What do they put? Well, maybe I clicked on the wrong guy. Maybe it weren't Andy Giddins. With more to follow before the night is over. That just suggests to me more than one. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah, Rob's saying a bit more business before the window closes as well.
So are we ending this soon, or are we waiting?
We will give it till 5 past. Get your tweets because
I'll just hold down the fort till 1.
Yeah. I'll do it late shift. I'll start at 4 when cricket starts.
Oh yeah, we've got 24 seconds, boys and girls.
Yeah.
It's like a really, really rubbish New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Is this how we all did New Year's Eve in lockdown? This would have been, wouldn't it? Just on Zoom or whatever.
On Zooms.
But there was far more alcohol involved.
Yeah, if you couldn't bring the mood down anymore.
2, 1. We have the slamming of the window. Slam some boys. Slam.
There you go.
Now what?
That was anticlimactic.
3 hours, right? 3 hours for one signing.
Yep.
So far.
It's not even an hour per signing. That's
that feels like there's some sort of compensation owed, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. If someone at the club watches this, we deserve compensation.
Bare minimum, some sort of buffet to be put on for us.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it then. Well, nothing more's coming in, is it?
You wouldn't have said so. I would expect a tweet if it's not from the club, from Paul Davis or Radio Chef that we're done.
Yeah. Yeah, the club do usually tweet out when we're done, don't they?
Yeah.
I can picture it all furiously refreshing Twitter now.
Oh yeah, my thumb hasn't stopped moving.
You're refreshing WhatsApp though.
But I've got WhatsApp notifications on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The tweet from Andy Giddins tweets the Andy Rinomhota deal, and then says with more to follow before the night is over. So.
Window closed according to Sky Sports News. Blackburn have signed somebody on the deadline.
And now Silas has all refreshed Twitter.
Yeah.
Injury record Rinomhota, I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't think he's. Again, I'm making an assumption here, so I'm not. At no point saying I don't think he's that bad.
Oh, he won't fit in then.
Come on, Twitter or WhatsApp, do something.
That may well be all we're going to get from Rotherham United tonight.
Right, Mick, Mr. Positive. If that's it, how you feeling?
Underwhelmed, obviously. Disappointed that we've not brought any more players in, given the numbers that have gone out. But we don't know yet, do we? We don't know what's going on. We don't know what needs to be done to get these things announced. So all the rumours point to there being at least one more signing. I would suggest probably not at least just one more signing, which I think we all expect to be the lad from Sheffield United. And with the greatest respect to the two players that we have signed, all that does is shore up areas where we're already not too badly off. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see whether there are any more announcements either later tonight or tomorrow. Who knows? It's a bit underwhelming, I'll be honest.
Underwhelming's a kind way of putting that, to be honest with you, Rick.
Yeah.
If this is it, this is an absolute shocker of a transfer window. An absolute shocker.
Yeah.
Like, we can be nice and it's not a good transfer window in the slightest. There's barely a positive to come out of it. And I know a lot of the league, and I know we're difficult to come to, but
absolutely agree. It's pathetic.
Happy Kappa Podcast is unable to put a positive spin on this, and we really, really, really do try. And I feel sorry for Liam Richardson and Rob Scott, because I'm certain they've done everything they can. I'm certain they've done everything to get bodies across the line. But it's not, sadly, not. It's not good enough. But I'm not sat here saying, "Oh, they're rubbish at the job." I'm just saying it's not good enough. But what can you do? We can only assume they've done the best that they can do, because that's all we can say. I don't know.
You might wake up in the morning to two or three more players.
Or I might wake up that Lindsay's gone to Wrexham.
They've put extra 100k on the end.
Yeah. Like what Leeds did a few years ago when they went too low.
Don't go to bed, guys.
Right.
Sound like poorly on. Great. Yeah. Don't know.
If it's this guy in an unproven Sheffield United fullback who may be good, it's pathetic. Honestly, pathetic. No way to cover it up. No way to do this, that, and the other. I agree with you, Matt. I think they've tried, but honestly shambles. And whatever the next interview Liam Richardson had, it's going to be the hardest thing he's ever had to do.
Well, the press is due tomorrow. So.
Exactly. It's going to have to be. He's going to have to get a good sleep tonight because he's going to be in for a pounding, an absolute hounding on Saturday. The atmosphere is going to be absolutely toxic as anything, and it wasn't going to be. We could have signed 5 good players today, and it was still going to be a little bit toxic on Saturday. After this, after selling Georgie Kelly, not even putting him out on loan, after selling him and bringing in one player who is unneeded, yeah, it's going to be an absolute. It's going to be painful on Saturday, in all honesty.
Unless we win.
Oh God, if we win, I don't even think people will be actually. Come on.
QPR have signed somebody else, so another relegation rival that signed somebody.
Well, you think about that. Even Wednesday have signed. That Pavida seems like an attacking winger who we could have needed, but
Cardiff have just announced somebody as well 2 minutes ago, so still within the deadline, or just after the deadline. Blackburn have announced that American guy was going to go to Wednesday. He's now going to Blackburn, which is funny.
That kind of softens the blow a little bit.
What?
Graham Lindley, says Sky Sports are apparently reporting Georgie Kelly a loan. Well, both clubs have confirmed a permanence of Sky Sports.
No, you're not telling me Sky Sports have got something wrong. No, I'm not having that.
Unclear.
You're not telling me that Sky Sports News have not done their homework. Sure not.
Crazy, I know. Right, unless you want to stay on, boys, I'm just going to call it now.
How terribly disappointing.
How awful.
Yes. We will be back. If there is a signing later tonight, we won't be back for that because I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
I'm going to upload the podcast for the audio listeners, so the first hour will be available for the audio listeners tomorrow morning, first thing. So that's going to be done now. I'm going to bed. We'll be back. The instant reaction is out Saturday evening time. Obviously, we'll do the instant reaction to the Southampton game and discuss how many passes Russ Martin manages to get his team to put past us. See if there's many goals to get past us. Please make sure you've subscribed. I know it's been a long one tonight. Make sure you've subscribed. And give this video a thumbs up as well. Boys, thank you very, very much for keeping me company tonight. I know it's been a bit pain in the backside, but of course, a lack of signings. But yeah, Tom, you did like. Tom, your deadline day debut. You were happy?
I'm ecstatic. Yeah. I had a 3-hour train up from Bristol to get here, to get in time, to be late. And I'm not. I had to have tea on this live stream. I had to cry on this live stream. I'd laugh. This has been quite the baptism of fire, I must say.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for the comments. We are seeing your comments. Thank you very much, Danny. Thank you for being with us tonight again. You took your TIFE as well.
Yeah, I've finished now.
You're lightweight.
Yeah, finished now.
Mick, thank you very much for being at times the positive light on this.
Somehow shows how bad it is. Come on,
hang on, let's do one last refresh, guys. One last refresh.
No,
make press one. We'll see you all next time, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you next time. Up the Millers.
See you later. Up the Millers.
Into Wales through a goal, slots it beyond Foderingham, and the Millers are in front in the South Yorkshire derby. And for the first time in 42 years, Rotherham United win at Bramall Lane. On the edge of the box for Doffin, he can hit them, and he does. The Doffin has scored an absolute screamer for Rotherham United. Rotherham United have secured their championship status for next season.